Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls, man? We in here, y'all. We are in here. The 49ers just beat the freaking Minnesota Vikings in the divisional round, and we moving on to the NFC Championship round, guys. Now, listen, I'm getting ready to get on the go. Nick is in here. He's on the road. My man Wayne is holding us down. He's got the command center tonight. So, listen, we got to go through the formalities, and then it's time for your victory shots. If you got your victory shots, get them ready, faithful. We're doing this one together. This is a family thing. Only my crew understands. All right, so listen, hit that like and subscribe button if this is your first time here on the YouTube page. We appreciate you guys, the love and support and continuous. We appreciate that. Make sure you guys turn on your notifications also so you know exactly when we're going live. Give us a follow on some of our social media pages. We have a Twitter and a Snapchat. Those handles are nothing but the number 9ERS. Make sure you give us follows over there also, okay? We also have the Facebook and the Instagram page. That is nothing but Niners. That's spelled all the way out with spaces in between. There are no numbers in there anywhere, okay? Make sure you guys aren't the last ones to join the Facebook group because they are over 15,000 strong. Don't be the last one, okay? You'll be a sad one if you're the last one. And last but not least, if you forget anything I said, guys, we have the website for you. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. That is your one-stop shop for any and everything 49ers from us here at Nothing But Niners. We got an email. We got all that stuff. But you guys know the deal already, man. I'm ready to take this victory shot, man. The email is nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. And we were all gas, no breaks tonight. We were on that ass, man. We showed Minnesota what was up. They don't want none, man. Let's get these victory shots ready. Nick, don't you take anything because you're driving, bro. We want to be safe over here. Hey. Wayne's got that gold bar. I'm over here with something clear because gold bar ran out. Send me something else, man.
That's the last of the gold bar, but I tell you what, some of the smoothest whiskey I ever had. All right.
There you go.
Listen.
There you go.
It is official. The 49ers are now moving on to the NFC Championship game. We, them boys, them hot boys. Let's go. Let's go. Now.
Damn, I thought Nick was gonna say something. My bad, bro. I didn't mean to leave you hanging like that. I thought Nick was gonna talk. I gotta finish.
Good. It's all good, man.
Is he still there?
Yeah, I had to take myself off mute.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I gotta finish getting my stuff ready so I go to the cigar. By the way, I know some people are wondering, Mike, you're doing your victory cigar tonight. I told y'all I had a $20 cigar for when we won, right? You see it right here. You see the price tag on it. All right, that's that Padron. That's the Padron. That's the special edition, the 1964 joint. That's the year my mama was born. So you know I got to spark this one up tonight, fellas. All right. Let me be quiet.
Hey,
yo,
man.
I see. Go ahead, Wayne.
Nah, go ahead. You got the floor, baby.
Yo, NFC Championship game, baby. 4-12 to 13-3, the number 1 seed, and just denied all the haters once again, bro. We dominated this game.
Yeah, yo,
all of the game.
We're gonna continue to receive the hate until they win this game and go into the 2020-21 season, bro. And it's cool. I think the 49ers have learned to embrace that junk, come out and punch them in the mouth. Like it's just what they've been doing all season long, man. And you're getting contributions from everyone, Nick. You're getting contributions from the offensive side, contributions on the defensive side, contributions on special teams. I mean, this team, when it's clicking, it's clicking. It's what did they say? Oh, the 49ers had a week off. They're going to come out. They're going to start slow. And Minnesota coming off that hot win. And they're going to be a problem. And no one wanted to pick the 49ers. And what did we say, Nick? What did we say, Nick?
Ain't nobody can beat us in the NFC.
That's what we said.
I don't care right now. I'm not worried about AFC teams because Tennessee is going to handle business tonight. And they're going to diminish the Baltimore Ravens and the trust, baby.
Yo.
Look, all I got to say is Jimmy Garoppolo feels great, baby.
Yes, it do, yo. You know what I love about Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick? I love his poise, bro. I love the fact that young fella can take a hit and keep on ticking. Gets his ankle rolled, throws an interception, and still keeps on moving that offense down the field. There was nothing better in this game. Nothing other than the defense. that I seen when Jimmy Garoppolo and the play action pass wasn't working because the Minnesota Vikings said, man, this guy is killing us in the play action pass in the beginning of the game. We scored on our first drive, and they were like, oh, we're going to play the pass. And what did Kyle Shanahan decide to do? What did I put in the chat? I said, we need to stop the play action pass. Someone said we need to run the ball, and bet you by golly wild did that not happen. We ran that ball for 80-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, took off like 10 minutes of the clock. It was amazing. It's like perfect game plan for football. There was nothing the Minnesota Vikings, as great as that defensive line is, there was nothing they could do. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, yo, we talked about this, Wayne. When me and you were talking about how these teams match up on Thursday. You remember we did this in-depth talk? We said that they take away this, we take away that. The Niners have to have a counterpunch. We talked about that. And that's exactly what they did. They said, all right, you're going to take this away. The play action's not working. We can't hit this. Watch this. Stop the run. Nobody thought they were going to try to do an entire 70-plus yard drive on the ground, not a single pass. And guess what? We did it, baby. We did it, man. They had no answers for us, man. This is the most battle-tested team in the entire playoffs right now.
13 straight rushes in the third quarter. I don't think we passed the ball in the third quarter.
It was amazing, bro. I think we did pass it. Didn't we get the ball back at one point? And I think we did one pass or something. We might not have, but I'm telling you, man, that was so beautiful. Like that whole run drive. And it was a mixture of runs. And he stayed with the hot guy. Tevin Coleman, 2 touchdowns, 105 yards on the ground. Let's talk about the run game real quick. Go ahead.
I got to give a big shout out. Mike Person played well tonight. McGlinchey struggled a little bit on a couple series. But other than that, this offensive line and George Kittle were beasts blocking tonight. Beasts.
Chris Collinsworth finally said something that I can actually agree with. He said that George Kittle is the best tight end in the NFL. It's about God bleep time that somebody noticed that junk. He is the best, not 1A, not 1B, the best. He said he's the best tight end. He called him Gronk 2.0. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I caught it. Yo.
He also said, Wayne, that if there was an MVP to a tight end, which we'll never see, George Kittle is the MVP of the National Football League.
Didn't I say that? Nick, didn't I say that in the group chat, bro? Yep. I said it. I said, why can't a tight end be a freaking MVP? That's bullshit. The best team in the league and the best player on that team, why can't he be the MVP?
Wow.
Come on, man.
It's horrible. Look, MVP is the most valuable player. It's not most valuable quarterback.
Uh-huh.
It should be the most valuable player on the football team. And George Kittle is by far the most valuable player on this team. Whether it's
is he though?
Because
we won games without Kittle, bro.
All right, hold on, but let's talk about it though.
But we've won games without Kittle. But how many games we won without Jimmy Garoppolo?
All right, okay, that's fair. Now let's play this game. Let's play this game, all right? And I'm gonna use because there's a lot of emotions when we use these examples and we discuss it with the 49ers. Let's flip it to a team that we don't like. Let's talk about the Seahawks, right?
Go ahead.
You take away Russell Wilson from the Seahawks. How many games do you think they win in the season? Honestly. You don't think they win a single one?
They might win 2, possibly.
Okay, but they're gonna win something, right?
Yeah, but
so we won some games. We won a game without George Kittle. That don't mean that he's not the MVP of the team. The offense works. The offense works better with George Kittle in there than without him. Even when Jimmy Garoppolo is on the field. If we had George Kittle that game against Seattle, you don't think we win that game, bro?
Absolutely, we win that game because it's another option that they have to stop. But that's another option though. Like it's another piece that they have to game plan for. If Kittle is ruled out, that's a relief of size, a relief for the team on the defensive scheme because they don't have to worry about another guy coming in there blocking. They don't have to worry about covering another guy who's uncoverable, right? And so that's a relief. But teams can still be beat. without George. I still feel like we win games without George Kittle. We didn't lose that game without George Kittle. We lost that game because motherfucker couldn't make the field goal to win the
That's
game.
not true. We would have won that
Come
game in
on, bro.
regulation.
Come
No,
on.
wait,
We
hear
don't
me out.
know
You gotta hear me
that.
out.
We don't
You
know
gotta
that,
hear me
bro.
out. You gotta hear me out, brother.
All right,
I'm
man.
saying that we would have won in regulation with Kittle in there.
Okay.
It would have never even got to overtime.
Okay.
Come on, because listen.
I'm not saying Kittle. I'm not downplaying Kittle at all.
The run game struggled in that game. The pass protection struggled in that game. Remember how Clowney went off, right? Listen, you put George Kittle on one of those sides and you match him up with Clowney, even if it's just a block. We saw what he was doing out there to Everson Griffin. We saw that tonight, bro. We saw how he was throwing Danielle Hunter. We saw him throwing those pass rushers around tonight, man. You can't tell me that game is not different with George Kittle in there. Forget him in the passing game. In the blocking game, George Kittle's tough.
I'm not arguing with you about the blocking game, bro. I just so if you take Jimmy Garoppolo off this offense, leave George Kittle in there. If you put our Nick Mullins in here, we 13-3. We in the playoffs.
I would say playoffs, yes.
Really?
13-3, no. Now listen. Now wait. Let me just stand on my grounds.
All these 13-3 teams, we in the playoffs.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Nick and I had a discussion earlier this year in the offseason, and I said this is the first time the Niners can withstand multiple injuries at any position. I said the only position that we can't stand an injury at is linebacker. That's what I said. I said Quan Alexander's the one guy we can't lose. I said that I felt confident in Kyle Shanahan's ability to game plan with the weapons that are on this team now against anybody, even if Nick Mullins was the quarterback. I said that. I got to stand on it. Not that we would go 13-3 still, maybe not. Because Jimmy Garoppolo, I think we lose those Cardinal games without Jimmy Garoppolo's ability to throw in tight windows. All right, I do think that, but I think that there's some other games that we could win still. We might not get 13, but maybe we get 10.
So let me ask you this question, because I feel and this could be my.
And I want Nick to chime in on this too. Don't come. Go ahead, though.
I don't mean to cut you out, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. I just got a question on the difference of definitions for two different things. But go ahead.
Look, you can go back. You can go back to the games that George Kittle wasn't in the game, and our rushing attack severely struggled, but we still had a good passing game, right? And you can make a case for Jimmy Garoppolo to be MVP of this team as well, but Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the football and George Kittle in what he does in the passing game and the run game and the blocking game is by far more important than Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the football. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't had to throw the football for umpteen yards this year to win games. A lot of our wins this year came off of the rushing attack and the way that we were rushing the football. And without George Kittle, our rushing game is not what it is without George Kittle. We saw that. We've seen
Talk your shit, Nick.
Okay. You're right.
And Wayne, you know this too, because off camera, me and you just said that.
What did we just say?
Me and you off camera just said that this game, that people were criticizing Jimmy Garoppolo. They're going to do it after this game because of how many yards he wasn't throwing for, because we were leading the league in rushing. We just said that shit.
But it's not. If the game plan is to rush the ball and it's working, why the hell would you throw the fucking ball? You're not going to throw it as much. We were rushing. Hold on. We were rushing the ball at the beginning of the season. It was successful. At some point, it stopped being as successful. You could say that was because George Kittle got hurt. So therefore, you're telling me that George Kittle is our best offensive lineman. All right. So let's put it at that. That's fine. Now, what did we have to do when we couldn't rush the ball? What did Jimmy Garoppolo do when we couldn't rush the ball? I want Nick to tell me what the fuck Jimmy Garoppolo did, and then I want Mike to tell me what Jimmy Garoppolo did when we couldn't run the ball. Because there were games we were getting like 40 yards, 50, 60 yards, opposed to 170 yards, which is where we started at the beginning of the season. My question to you guys was this. Is it a difference in having Kittle as the best player on the team, but Jimmy Garoppolo being the most valuable player on the team? Two different things. So can't we have both? Because I would put Kittle as the best player. He's the elite player. He's the player I want that's going to make my team better. But without a Jimmy Garoppolo, without a guy that can cerebrally make this team flow, get the ball to Kittle in space so Kittle can make the play, do those things, call check downs, do whatever it is, I don't think we are as successful, even with the talent of a George Kittle. Okay, you take if we're the New England Patriots and we have Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. You mean to tell me Antonio Brown, even if he makes all the plays, he would be the MVP over Tom Brady? That's what I'm.
Wayne, there's a difference between Antonio Brown and George Kittle, because Antonio Brown is not a blocker and doesn't have as much effect on the entire game as George Kittle does.
Okay.
George Kittle has a really
okay.
Big,
cut that. Stop that example. That's bad. Kelsey and Mahomes. Go to that one. Do that one. So
you
Mahomes is MVP.
Because Kelsey, you can't even use that game because
Kelsey blocked.
Hold on. Let me talk. Jimmy Garoppolo and Patrick Mahomes are two different quarterbacks, right? Travis Kelsey is not used as much in the run game as George Kittle is. George Kittle makes all three facets of the game work: blocking, running, and catching.
That makes George Kittle the best tight end in football, Nick. That makes him the greatest tight end in football. That means he's going to exceed Tony Gonzalez and all these Gronk, all these tight ends that we talk about. He's going to exceed them. That makes him the greatest. That doesn't make him the MVP, right?
But let me ask you this. All right, and I can understand where you're coming from with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? But Jimmy Garoppolo was still in those games that we lost, right?
Correct.
And lost as in he didn't make how can I say this? He's made some game-changing plays.
Yo,
but
the Titans just scored again. Oh my God!
You look at our team, and you look when we faltered in the run game, and George Kittle was out. We became one-dimensional as an entire team with George Kittle out. We didn't become one-dimensional because Jimmy Garoppolo was still in there. We became one-dimensional because our run game was lack of without George Kittle in there.
Well, when Jimmy Garoppolo was injured, our run game wasn't that great. I mean, we had Breida, we had Mostert, and we didn't use them right. But our run game wasn't that electrifying because we won 4 effing games. Like with Kittle, and Kittle played, hurt, but he played. Look, man, I'm not taking anything away from Kittle. I think he's the greatest. I think he's the best player on this 49ers team. I do. I just don't think we would be in this position without the quarterback, because the quarterback has to run all the crazy shit that Kyle is calling. He has to run that. And
how many yards?
Not every quarterback can do that.
How many passes did Jimmy Garoppolo complete tonight?
11.
How many yards Jimmy Garoppolo? How many yards Jimmy Garoppolo throw for tonight?
133.
How many interceptions he throw tonight?
1.
How many touchdowns?
1.
You don't think Nick Mullins could have done that? I'm just doing this to prove a point. I think
I think they attack Nick Mullins differently. It's a game plan, right? It's the defense is going to come after Nick Mullins. It's the same way we play against inferior. Okay, I could be wrong,
bro. I'm just saying, you know damn well 134, 131, whatever it was, ain't hard to do in the NFL, man.
It's not hard to do, but they started running the ball, Mike. They stopped throwing the ball,
and that's what. Do you think we run this as well without?
That's not what this is all about. This is all about Kittle being the most valuable player over Jimmy Garoppolo. So you're telling me we throw the ball, we could put up those same numbers with Nick Mullins, but guess who's still in the game? like Kittle's still playing. So you know what? The whole goddamn 49ers team is MVP. All right, moving on. The 49ers won this game, and they are on their way to the NFC Championship, baby.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go, baby!
Bro,
they gonna call the cops on me out here, man. I'm all out here.
I got cash money, baby. I could bail you out. Listen, we are 2 games away from the Super Bowl, guys. Nick, we are 2 games away, Nick. Mom, we are 2 games away. Mike, we're 2 games away, baby. What we gotta do to get there, man?
So listen, man. You asked a really good question. You said, "Can Kittle be the best person but not be the MVP?" And you know what? The answer is honestly yes. The answer is yes, because I do think that it takes something special to make it all work together. I do believe that, because the run game isn't as successful without the threat of a passing game. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo does bring a better threat of the passing game than Nick Mullins does. So I don't want to pretend like I did say that from the rip. I think that Jimmy is better than Nick Mullins. I also said I don't think we win as many games. I think we could have pulled out 10 of these, though. I think we could have got 10 W's. I think we lose both of those Cardinals games, and we probably lose to what was the other game that was really good by Jim? Oh, we definitely lose that Saints game. We definitely lose that Saints game without Jimmy. For sure. Absolutely. So I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want nobody thinking I'm shitting on Jimmy. Jimmy's my dude. Jimmy's been my guy. So please don't take this conversation and twist it. And Mike don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, come on, bro. Please don't start sending me those messages and all that shit. I don't have time for that nonsense. Okay. I don't want people thinking that, because you know how they like to come at me. Mike, Keller Witherspoon gave up a touchdown. My mentions on Twitter blew up.
Speaking of that, I gotta come at you, Mike, since you brought the name up, bro. We gotta talk about AK Spoon, baby. Listen.
Hey, you know what? I think I gotta go. I gotta go inside.
Nah, it ain't smoking time now. You about to get smoked. Listen, they want to let you know that they try to tell you that AK-23 Spoon, and I think my man who's blacked out on this other screen in his camera, Nick, been trying to tell you that cat is, what you call him, Nick? Hey, Nick, what do you call him?
He's Dookie. Say it, Nick.
Dookie.
There we go. There we go. That boy is diarrhea trash, man. I don't know what happened to AK, man. I'm not sure, yo.
Hey, man, it is what it is. All I'm saying is this, man. The game was won.
Got to eat crow.
Hey, look.
Hold on, you heard my mom? Hold on.
I hear her. That's why I'm hating. That's why I'm hating, because now Mom's saying that I'm hating. I'm hating.
I'm about to go on. I'm going on Amazon and I'm ordering Mike a crow, and he about to eat that joint, yeah. Mike, you know I love you, bro. I was trying to give you some support, man. I'm like, yo, you know what? Bold prediction. This man comes out, stops all the hate coming against him. He gets a pick. I swear, I promise you on my uncle's life, Mike, if he didn't fall down, he would have picked that ball, Mike.
That was your pick right there. Yeah, absolutely. It was your pick, man.
Oh,
and you know
my
what's crazy?
God.
You know what's crazy? Check this out. They didn't complete any passes down the field to wide receivers after they took him out until he went back in at the end of the game.
I didn't
when
see
they
that.
when they put all the backup guys in, he went right back out. I was like, you were killing me, man. They're gonna kill me for this on the show.
I didn't even know he did that, but you know what it was? He was playing so far off on coverage because he wasn't gonna get beat deep. He was like, I'll give Diggs 16 yards, but I'm not getting beat deep again. Wow.
Yep, he gave up the pass. So as soon as he came in, we were up 3 scores. It was one of their last drives, and they took all the starters out. Thomas was in there. Zettel, that was the play that Zettel got the sack. Remember that drive right there where Zettel got the sack?
Absolutely.
They put AK in there. They saw AK. He was like, oh, yards, got it. Like,
absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Hey, man, speaking of sacks, man, I like how you segue right into the next thing. We're not going to sit here and trash AK all night, man. That boy's a 49er. We got to just get his head right, man. Something's wrong. Something's going on up in his head, and it's hard when you're battling mental things. You know what I'm saying? Physically, he's there. I know he don't like to make hits or whatever like that. You can see that difference between him and E-Man. E-Man will go ahead and lay a body. And E-Man did get torched on a couple of throws too, man. If it wasn't for, I saw one of them joints, he got torched on the sideline, and the big pass to Diggs, he got torched too. If Ward didn't make that hit,
Lucky Ward was there. Ward don't have AK's back like that, though, do he?
They don't communicate, bro.
Look. Emmanuel Mosley made more plays than he didn't tonight, though.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
He made way more plays than he didn't tonight. Akello made less plays than he even made.
They scored again? No. Yes. Sorry.
It's 21-0?
Oh, my God.
Hey, I got to go inside, man.
I said Tennessee's going to walk all over Baltimore tonight.
No, it's 14. It's 14-0.
And I know that game's not on and we're not talking about it, but I think the Chiefs are in trouble if it continues to snow. If that snow, bro.
Hey, man.
All right. Okay.
All I know is we in the NFC Championship. Real quick, shout out to Riggs with the $10 donation. 49ers are going
Riggs and
back.
Murtaugh.
Riggs and
Murtaugh. I just
49ers.
noticed the name. That's the play on words right there. That's the lethal weapon right there. Okay.
Oh, Riggs and that's right. Oh,
yeah.
Snap. 49ers are going back. That's lethal weapon. 49ers are going back to the NFC Championship. Chat hype. Let's effing go. Hey, listen,
LFG,
man.
Baby. LFG.
You know what? George Kittle said, hey, man, I got a few hours to celebrate, then it's back to business. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Them boys are ready to work.
And did you see Sherman go up there at the presser and give it to the press? Did you see him give it to the media? Huh? Y'all want to come in here and hype up? We the #1 seed. Act like we ain't been doing it all year long. Huh? That's what y'all want to do? Y'all want to sit and all of a sudden y'all going to see an upset? Where is this nonsense coming from? Oh, it's going to get you clicks and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Back to reality, baby. We here. We the #1 seed. Don't ever disrespect us like that. He said, now back to your regular questions. What's up?
Nah. And then after that, Sherman got mad. Sherman got more mad because Sherman said, y'all sitting here trying to say I can't cover. I can play man. I just don't choose to play man. And when I play man, I make plays. I've been doing it since 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, tore my Achilles, 2016. He was like, what you want me to do? He was like, I've been consistent every single year. He was really getting at the voters who didn't vote him all pro first team. He was really sending shots out to them. And then you know what he did after that, Mike? He apologized to his teammates and said, I'm sorry, I was being selfish. Let's get back to my team.
About me. Let's get back to the team. Exactly. But sometimes you just got to let that off your chest, man. Sometimes you got to let people know, hey, man, it ain't nothing sweet over here, bro. Like, y'all been, listen, I was one of them. I kept telling y'all for the last 2 years while he was in Seattle, hey, that cat ain't the same no more. Something ain't right about Sherman. He came here. Yo, luckily people weren't targeting him. He's not the same no more. And it turns out there was an injury. And I was like, yeah, but he told us he was healthy at the beginning of the year. He said that he was fine. He was good to go. He looked like the same old Sherman to me. And then he come back this year, a whole year and a half removed from that injury, right? And all of a sudden, Richard Sherman looked like the best corner in the goddamn league, bro. The best corner in the league, man. You can't take nothing away from that man. He worked hard. He studies the playbook, and he ran that route when he got that pick. Did he run that route for him or what, man?
He turned
around before Thielen did, bro.
And stepped to the side, and the ball was right where Thielen was supposed to be.
Right there. He turned before Thielen did, bro. Come on, man.
There can't be. There's no one more cerebral playing the quarterback position than Richard Sherman. If you don't understand the word cerebral, that means that man goes in the film room and he studies, and it's imprinted in his brain. It's like he takes the map and he puts it inside his brain, and he remembers the other team's routes. That man, Richard Sherman, is on another level, and he's only going to continue to be on that level. Even as age progresses, he's still going to be cerebral. Remember, Richard Sherman was never a fast DB. He was never a speed guy. He was a guy that would read the routes, which means his longevity will be that much longer in the NFL.
Nick, come back. Where'd Nick go? Get your ass back in here. Take that shot, bro. You owe us a victory shot.
I gotta use the bathroom first.
Oh no, stay here with Wayne, man. I gotta go more than you do.
For what?
I'm at the cigar bar. I gotta go to the bathroom, man. I gotta go. I can't be on the phone.
I just drove an hour. Hey, you're here.
Crowbar.
There it is. All right, I'll be back, fellas. I'll be back. All right.
Hey Nick, man, I'm so glad. I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy, bro, and I'm so blessed to have you, Mike, the whole crew, man, like allowing me to share my emotions, bro. Like this like is crazy, man. Like Nick, we're in the NFC Championship. Nick, I get to buy new hats. We went like once we win this game, my order's going right through, bro. Like I have 2012, man.
Yo,
this is a different. Can we finally agree that this team is different than the 2012 team, bro?
This team is a better team than the 2012 team.
Can we finally agree? Like, I know we agreed, but like, can we finally share why this team is better than the 2012 team? I think even the defense is better than the 2012 defense.
Bro, this team all around is a better football team. Fundamentally, scheme-wise, abilities from players, and then just talent.
Talent, Nick.
Yo, so I got to give a big shout out to Michael Thomas because did you see his tweet?
I saw his tweet.
So hold on. So his first tweet was, "That's what y'all get."
Yes, sir. I ain't see the second one.
And then he tweeted out, "Y'all talked all that shit. I don't think anyone got more than one catch. One had 7 with a broken hand. I don't want to hear it. Garbage time yards do not count. Cut off the game. I can't relate. Mark about to come on and get your popcorn ready.
Yo,
Now go chop that."
let me pull this up, yo. So, did you see the cut to the sideline? The cut camera went on the sideline when they went to Diggs' face. Did you see the words that Diggs was saying and his expressions on his face? Diggs don't want to be a Viking, bro. That boy
No.
wants to compete. He wants to compete, bro.
Before we get into that, I got one more tweet to
Go
talk
ahead.
about. Jamal Adams.
Uh-oh.
He says, "I mean, fam, can we talk about this 49ers front? A DB's dream."
Wow! All right, let's break that down for fans that may not understand that. Front four. Talk about it, Nick.
And this is what I was saying earlier about Akello Witherspoon. Did us as 49ers fans put Akello Witherspoon on too high of a pedestal because of the fact the pass rush and the type of quarterbacks they were playing? He played Jameis Winston, first week of the year, was not playing well, didn't finish the season well. He's in the 30 for 30 club. Secondly, the pass rush was dominant. Third, the first, like I said, Jameis Winston. Second quarterback, Andy Dalton. Third, Kyle Rudolph. Bro,
Mason Rudolph?
Or Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry. Mason Rudolph. Like,
and that's when he got hurt, right?
The pass rush, yeah, and then week 3 he got hurt. But he was playing lights out. But we look at the talent of quarterback we were playing and how good the pass rush was, and we automatically put
We did, Nick.
Witherspoon on this pedestal.
No. We put Witherspoon at number 1, as we thought of even sliding Richard Sherman to number 2. I need his cigar ass to get back on this podcast so we can remind him that he said that. You know what I'm saying? That's where we were trending, because we were seeing a level of play out of AK. He was batting down balls. He was diving to break up passes. He was doing stuff that he stopped doing.
Right, but you also have to take all the considerations in the game, right?
Agreed.
So the pass rush was limited. He could make those attempts, right? Because the ball's coming out a lot faster. He's got a lot tighter coverage. Now, don't get me wrong. Spoon has made some good plays, right? But he's not as locked down as we put him. And we haven't put him in that situation to where it's just, I don't know. There's something going on. And I don't know if you can pinpoint it. We had a really good pass rush tonight. We had 5 sacks.
6 sacks, Nick.
Oh, 6 sacks. So I said, what did I say? 6.5. I thought we were going to get tonight. Yeah, because we ended the game with a sack.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah. Nick Mother Bosa.
We're going to talk about it.
But, we had a really good pass rush tonight. And we held a quarterback to 133 yards. Right? We held a running back, Dalvin Cook, who just lit up New Orleans and has been playing well over the end of the season, till a whooping 21 yards. Actually, it was 18 yards. They didn't even use Matheson.
Not one play, Nick.
Not one play. But, dude, what dominated tonight is not only the linebacker play, but the defensive line with the run game. They were shedding blocks and making great tackles.
Did you see Buckner get into the backfield?
Bro, Buckner had a game tonight.
Did I not call it, though? Did I not
I
say
said the same thing with you.
That man was going to ball out. Everybody kept saying, my man, Agent Mose, like we were sitting there talking to him, nah, man, listen. like whoever called in, it was a caller that called in, and they were like, Buckner's assistant bro, I think it was, and they were like, Buckner, he doesn't have the sack numbers he had last year. I'm like, listen, it's a different game this year, yo. They know who Buckner is. They know how to game plan. That's like us game planning every year for Aaron Donald. We got to find ways to stop his behind. Well, they're finding ways to stop Buckner, so somebody else needs to step up. Buckner decided to say, bump all that trash. Whether I get in the backfield for a sack or not, that ain't my MO. I'm gonna be disruptive in this backfield. I do have a question for you because I don't know if anybody answered it for me. I don't remember seeing Earl Mitchell, but did he play? And Nick has disappeared, and I'll make sure I get Nick back in the chat. I know Nick had to go pee, but you guys tell me out there. I don't remember seeing if Earl Mitchell had an impact. I know someone said he had an impact on the run D, but I don't remember seeing Earl Mitchell in there. I know Sheldon Day had a good tackle. I know Solomon Thomas had a good tackle. These are all guys that we did not expect to ball out in a game, and this game was bigger than big, right? This game was huge. This was to go to the NFC Championship to contest for the Super Bowl, right? I want to know more of what Earl Mitchell did, because if I didn't expect him to play a lot, being that he was coming in off the street, but the fact that he's an addition on this team, and as well as this game played, the way they played, I don't see Seattle's offensive line stopping us. I don't see Seattle's offensive line being able to contain us. I don't think that Green Bay's offensive line can contain us. I don't think that the Tennessee Titans might have probably one of the best offensive lines in football. I don't see them containing our defensive line. The 49ers have the best defensive front in the game. The defensive front is allowing that secondary to be great. Why? Because they're getting to the quarterback. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. And if they're getting pressure on the quarterback, the DBs don't have to cover so long. Am I right or am I right, Mike? I mean, that's just football.
I jumped in the middle, bro. I'm not sure what y'all was talking about. I'm sorry. What was that?
So we were I'm just talking about the D-line. I mentioned, did anybody see Earl Mitchell? How many snaps did Earl Mitchell get? How effective was he on the run D? I don't really think I got a chance to see Earl Mitchell ball out, and I was trying to let the faithful know that that's totally okay. Man coming in off the streets, limited snaps, that means going forward, he's got 2 games to get into football shape. 2 more games that he's going to be in the shape. Earl Mitchell will be a bonus for this team.
I'm not on the computer, so I can't look it up. I'm not sure at all, honestly. But I tell you what's more encouraging is that we were successful against the run with or without him.
And
no matter how you try to spin it, he ain't gonna do nothing but make us better. So if he wasn't in there, then it's even more scary for the opponents coming up, because guess what? Not everybody running outside like that. A lot of these guys are up the gut. You know what I'm saying? So with him in this game in particular, they like to run outside. They like to run how the Niners run. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference right there. But if it's gonna be somebody, man, come on now. If it's another team, let us have to play Seattle. They like to run up the middle. They don't do the outside zone like that, bro. Oh my God. Let me stop what I'm saying and read this one right here. My man George Padilla. He says here, let's get it, faithful. Ain't nobody work tomorrow. Love these Niners. I love NBN. I love you, faithful, that been rocking with this channel since whenever he repping like this family right here, man. He said, we all make this whole experience better for all of us. Y'all the best for doing this, NBN. Man, much, much, much love to my man George out there. Look at me. Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about right there.
The love we get from you guys is astonishing, man. Like, it's like we can't even freaking put it in a bottle. I want to put it in a bottle and save it for when I'm having a bad day. You feel me? Because y'all get me, like, to a point where it just gets sentimental. Like, it's nothing like, and the good part about this faithful fan base is the fact that we've been here when it was rough. We've cussed each other out. We've blamed one another. We've done all this. So the fact that we're enjoying success is like freaking, it's like pure bliss, yo. It's like pure bliss, man.
Yes,
pure
sir.
bliss. We appreciate you, Mr. Padilla.
I got to get out. I'm going to start yelling in here.
Do your thing, man. Do you think, man? I got this, man.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm getting out. When I say I'm getting, I'm going back outside. I want to talk to y'all. I want to talk to y'all. No, what the fuck is you? I want to talk to y'all. George ain't hit me up like that, and I'm just like, oh, I'm out. No, I'm here. I'm here, man.
Oh, man.
My man GP is holding us down, man.
But now what?
Come on, man. That's love right there, bro. You heard it, and you heard it. You know, not everybody makes the financial contributions like that, and that's cool. That's cool. But when we open up the phone lines, we get messages like this all the time, man. NBN for the consistent coverage of this team. We got. It's not just fellas either. It's couples listening to us now. It's women getting involved in this now. You know what I'm saying? These ladies are coming in here. I hear them in the background on the phone calls. This is us calling. It's both of us, me and my wife calling right now, man. We're changing shit, man. Listen, man, this is touching right here. This is moving. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep it up over here, y'all. We can't let them down. We got to do this for them. This is for them. This ain't about us. This is about them, man. It's for the faithful, man.
It's for the faithful, bro. It's for the Nothing But Niners fan base out there, man. We truly appreciate you on Facebook. We appreciate you on Twitter. We appreciate you on all social media. That's why we do the fan interaction shows with you, so that you guys can come in here, talk your stuff, let your balls hang out, do whatever it is you feel like you need to do, because you have been owning and holding this stuff in since 2013. There's a lot of stuff y'all want to get off y'all chest. I know. You know damn well we shouldn't have lost that Super Bowl to them Ravens. You know damn well we should have kept contesting. We done been through 3 coaches since then. Let's talk. Get y'all shit out. Get y'all stuff out so we could talk, yo. I promise I'm working on my language. I know we're doing this for the kids also, so we definitely got to keep it kosher. But right now, it's so hard not to overreact. Matter of fact, I am so kosher right now, I'm just ready to plan for next week. I'm like George Kittle. Hey, man, I'm going to enjoy this drink, and then I'm going to go back again to the film room because we're going to go ahead and get ready for next week. We got bigger thoughts and bigger goals.
My man G has dropped the 2 biggest contributions we've received on the show, man. That is insane. That is insane.
3.
He's done it 3 times?
One time he dropped like 149, yo.
He dropped a 49. Actually, he dropped a 49, a 99 when just us were on, 99 when Eric Davis was on, and then another 99.
That's right, because Eric Davis said, I don't know if I would have paid that much to get it, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Nick. Good call, man. Good call, man. Show some love to that, man. Oh my God, man. That's love right there. That is love.
I want to bring on
Agent Mose.
Yeah, Agent Mose wants to jump on if that's cool with y'all. And then
hey, and look, I saw a comment in there too. Yeah, hell yeah, get my man in here. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we got to give some love, Nick. We got to give some love to somebody who deserved it tonight. He earned it tonight, man. Teco.
He definitely
Kevin Coleman. Kevin Coleman, man.
Has that not been my boy all season? Who goes to war for Tico, y'all? In this group, not between y'all two, in this group, I want y'all to say that shit right here on national TV.
You got it, bro. You got it. That's been your guy. I've been giving him hell. I hate seeing him trying to catch. I hated seeing it. The 1 and 2 yard runs up the middle and everything. You might as well hand it off to Juice if that's what you're going to do. My man was eating tonight, bro. He had 22 carries for like 105 or something like that. He was eating tonight, bro.
22 for 105, bro.
Yo,
I knew when Kyle said in the presser, Nick and Mike, he said, listen, Tico's been starting because he does this different. And then we come in and switch the game up and we add in some Breida. And then we close the game out with Mostert. He's like, that's what it's worth. But Kyle switched it up on us today. He started Breida, and then he entered Mostert, and then Tico came in the game, and then it was a Tico Mostert thing. Go ahead, Nick. Talk your stuff.
Yo, Tico is the only running back to score 2 touchdowns in a playoff game since Frank Gore.
Talk, yo. We need a music break for that.
Oh no, we saying that. We saying that. Talk your shit, baby. That we putting that on the freaking t-shirt. Talk your shit. That's gonna be on the MB Niners t-shirt. My man out here with the meat out. Yeah. Okay.
Taco meat out.
I just want to get a t-shirt. That's all I'm asking for. I've been asking for a t-shirt.
Yo, I gotta tell you what though. Another guy I gotta give props to tonight and put some respect on his name once again. KB balled tonight.
Oh yeah.
He did. He had 2 drops.
He had some crazy drops though, but that's what you're gonna get with KB though.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Everybody recognizes it. Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels. It's like, hey man, he's either gonna be real big or be real small. It's gonna be one or the other. There's no in between. The first drop pass, he got hit. The second drop pass, he was gonna get hit. So it was just, It was like, hey, man, but he knew he should have caught those balls. But let's talk about the catch he caught where Jimmy's arm got deflected under pressure, and he went and scouted that ball down like an eagle and caught that pass. Talk your talk, Mose. Talk it, baby.
Yo, that was a huge play. The pass rush got in there. They got to Jimmy. Jimmy got the ball off. And whenever you see a duck like that go in the area, the immediate thought is somebody just get to it and bat it down so it's not an interception. For KB to have the awareness to know I'm in the area, let me make a play, that was a huge play on third down. That kept that drive alive. That was
Mike said it was tipped. I didn't see his arm hit or a tip pass, but I have to go back and watch it. But just the heads up play from Kendrick Bourne to come out of nowhere and slide and catch that football was a game moving moment.
Yeah,
the game.
Yeah, you gotta remember that was the move the chains also.
Yeah,
like, he made some impressive catches there like that.
It was.
Oh, they trying to get Nick.
Nick, don't take shots until the $20 donation pop up, man. Come on, man. You don't know how to sell yourself. You bugging.
Oh, Nick don't care about his kidneys tonight. Oh, he just got
what the
Nick, hey, I hope you fill that with water. I hope you fill that with water before you
five in a row.
I got a question for Gold Bar. How many bottles you send Nick? Because he been drinking that for a long time. I don't know how he still got liquor in there.
Yeah, nah, man. Nick is on some other shit right now, man. I can't. I got babies I gotta get home to.
Yeah. My kids in the other room.
Babies I'm trying to make. That's gonna stare on your balls, bro.
Hey, NFC Championship, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, and I got something else for y'all too. I know I just smoked a $20 cigar tonight, right? So I'm gonna go in here tonight. I'm gonna go and buy another $30, $40 cigar. That's gonna be for next week. And then after that, I'm buying a $90 cigar to smoke if we win the Super Bowl, and I'm popping that bottle. Y'all know what bottle I'm talking about. All of us got the bottle. I'm sorry, not you, Mosey. I'm sorry. No offense.
Yeah,
but y'all know what bottles I'm talking about. We popping the champagne and the wine that night.
I want a bottle.
That's them right there. That's
the
champagne right there. Hey, we gonna play that. We gonna play that Swiss beat. We pop champagne. Hey, we pop champagne. Hey, yeah.
That's not
it's going down. Damn, my battery about to die, man. This is whack. Where's my charger at? Hold on, I'm at my car. I'm outside. Let me get my charger and whatnot, man. I'm out here all kinds of crazy.
Bottles, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. You already know it.
Hey, man.
Y'all know it.
I know somebody over here in the comments said, "Did you hear Chris Collinsworth calls the Vikings?" Listen, man, these game casters or whatever you want to call it, these sports analysts, they have been shitting on the 49ers all season long, man. They haven't.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna call BS on that. Collinsworth ain't allowed. He's not allowed to pick a team for a game that he's calling. He's not allowed to do that. He didn't do that.
But he called us the Vikings. He didn't pick us. He just called us the Vikings. Like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like teams.
He also said, there's no denying that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC right now.
Okay. But he called us the Vikings. So he might have been talking about the Vikings. I'm just saying. Look, all I'm saying is you're gonna get the guys. They're gonna say what they want to say. It's just the way it is, guys. We've been resilient all season. We've been taking all the down pressures, all the bad talk, all that stuff. And we thinking that them 49ers don't be listening or paying attention to that stuff. But guess what they do when they go down the field? They go and smack everybody in the mouth. They go out and punch everybody in the upper lip. So they literally hanging like this because they want everybody to know that they're not the team to be reckoned with. This 49ers team is different, man. I keep telling y'all that they different and they're going to continue to be different. And they're only going to keep growing.
This defense, what we saw tonight is better than what that Seahawks defense was that year that they went to the Super Bowl and played in New Jersey against the Broncos. I'm saying it, and I have make no mistakes about what I'm saying at all. This defense is better than what that Seahawks defense was, bro.
Did y'all see my man Tart like from sideline to sideline, yo?
Yo, I told you what a huge difference.
He was everywhere.
Yo, did y'all see him from sideline to sideline though? Like he was from the right, make the tackle, left, make the tackle. Like that space is what we were missing. That's not what Harris was strong at. That's what I'm trying to tell cats, yo. With this team, who can beat this team? Cats are scared of this team. They scared.
Yo, Mike, you weren't on here when I said. Did you hear what Jamal Adams' tweet was?
Nah, he wasn't on here.
All right, so I'm gonna read
I
this.
wasn't on either, but I heard it. That was crazy. And he wants out of New York.
Yo, let me tell you what it said.
I think he wants out of New York, Moles, and I think Diggs wants out of Minnesota.
Oh, he definitely does.
Hey, Craig Harris, man. Hey, Craig Harris, you got some pressure on you now. Nick did his part, bro.
Oh yeah, he did that a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that $20 donation to pop up, man, because he drunk.
He didn't do 5 back to back. He did 5 straight.
Yeah, he did them joints. He did them joints straight, bro.
At one time.
So Mike, he said, fam, can we talk about this 49ers front? A DB's dream.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was basically come and get me.
Yeah.
So that
loud
means,
and clear.
Yo, let's talk about this game real quick because
he just put the bat signal up in the air.
Y'all know that I wanted to draft him over Thomas, right? I just want y'all to know that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure y'all know that. That's
I saw an interesting tweet tonight because I got to give some love to Jimmy Ward tonight too because he balled out tonight.
He did.
Right.
He had 2 hits.
Nick Wagner, I believe Nick Wagner put the tweet out and said to 49ers fans, said basically you can thank Le'Veon Bell for turning down a 1-year contract because the Niners wouldn't have been able to bring back Jimmy Ward if Le'Veon Bell accepted the contract and then went out and signed Tico Raw at half price and was able to re-sign Jimmy Ward at the price that they wanted.
I'm about to thank his ass right now. Let me go on Twitter right now.
Thank you, lady.
Were the Niners really interested in him though?
They were.
They said that he turned down a 1-year contract.
They were definitely interested in him, Mike. I promise you, bro. They were. The Niners were interested in a lot of cats. They made a lot of offers for cats that we didn't think that they would, and that they did. We thought that the Niners were sleeping. Oh, why are you not going after this guy? It's just that there were other better offers, and the Niners weren't giving up as much as other teams were, and they just said, bump it. We'll rock. But right now, I'm going to thank Le'Veon Bell, man. I'm going to at his ass, too, in this joint. Le'Veon.
Yo, and another big guy, and I know he didn't do much tonight, but Robbie Gould's been on point.
Yes, he has. That means that man was injured.
I truly think that injury, that leg injury was a lingering issue.
Yes.
And he tried to play through it and then injured it more.
Yes.
Mike, let me ask you this. Look at the difference of the ball coming off his foot from before the injury to after the injury.
Nick, what do I tell you? What do I tell you about injured players? I don't care on our team or someone else's team. If you're out there, that means you're supposed to be the best option. I don't care. I don't care.
I know.
That don't change anything for me.
Can we put to rest that he doesn't want to be here?
No, we still don't know what he wants. We got to stop trying to tell us. We got to stop trying to speak on what these players want and how they feel. We don't know. Everybody said, oh, Akello's confidence is shot and da-da-da-da-da. He was on the sideline like the biggest cheerleader in the world. My man was hype on the sidelines. Come on, man. We don't know how these people feel.
His confidence in his play still shot. He's got the rah-rah going on.
We don't know how these people feel is my point. And that goes both ways. That also means that I don't know for sure that Robbie Gould didn't want to be here. I base that off of everything he said and did in the offseason. That's where I got that from.
How about I tweet Robbie Gould and ask him to come on our show and we can ask him that question.
He ain't gonna do it. And no, I don't want you asking nobody else because I still ain't seen Kay over here.
Oh, that's because Kay is still mad that her Saints is out the playoffs. We got to give her some time.
Exactly why she picked the Vikings over the Niners today.
And she did.
The Vikings.
She about to get this smoke.
Hey, somebody sent her the meme with Salt Bay.
I got you, bro.
Everybody I'm going to take a screenshot.
I'm on it.
Oh, my God. I got 9% battery, fellas. This is going to kick me off. And hey, yo, y'all should have heard when I walked inside, right? So they got a new buzzer in the cigar parlor. When you walk out, it go, damn it, right? So they were like, oh, here he come. And I walked over there and I saw everybody. They were like, oh, I'm like, yeah, y'all know what it is already, man. They hate me in here, bro. I'm in Eagles country right now. It's all Eagles and Giants fans in here, so they all salty, bro.
All right, well, I want to spit out the stats for the entire game, and then we can talk.
Wait, before you do it, because I don't want my phone to die first. Did the DT Mitchell show up on the stat sheet?
Let's see here.
I'm not sure if he
no.
did.
He didn't register any tackles today.
Nope.
I don't think he played.
I don't think he
No,
played
he,
either.
no, he played. I think his snaps were limited. I saw
I
more.
saw Shelton Day out there waiting for him.
What
Yeah,
number did he wear?
He wore 93. He's wearing DJ Jones's number.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
Yeah, they can.
Isn't Jones considered still on the roster?
No, he's on IR.
He's on IR. So
his number's up for grabs?
Yeah.
Yeah. But DJ kind of gave it to him. He was like, yeah, you can wear it because he looks at him like a mentor, he says.
Who's wearing 90?
Givens, right?
Givens has 90.
Okay, that's what Mitchell was before.
Right.
Yeah, he was 90 before, and then when he came back,
Kittle was wearing 92.
Hey, I'm seeing a lot of disrespect for the Ravens. I understand that they're gonna lose this game, but let's not pretend that that's not a good team, bro. Let's not pretend that it's not a good team.
After Ravens, man.
Tennessee's just on fire right now.
Yeah, they've been hot.
They've been
hot
at the right time.
They're scary.
They caught fire at the right time.
They are that Giants team that made it to the playoffs that year.
Yeah, that's a dope
for the
comparison,
AFC.
Bro. That's a dope comparison.
That's who they are, because the Giants were doing it on the ground. I don't know if y'all remember they had those three running backs. It was Bradshaw and Ward and the big dude that came here, Jacobs. Remember?
Jacobs.
They called him Earth, Wind, and Fire or something like that.
Remember Brandon Jacobs didn't want to be a 49er?
Chump ass mother! Oh, you gonna see? You gonna get me out of character? You
bringing up bad memories.
He's pumping my gas at the gas station right now. That's what he get.
I know Nick said he wanted to get to the stats. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know if he showed up on the stat sheet. Go ahead, Nick.
All right, so I want to talk about the over-unders. We said, Jimmy, you asked me 9.6 yards per attempt, right? On average.
I think I said 9.7.
9.7. It was actually 6.9.
It was low. Well, we knew that was going to be low but that's per attempt, not per completion. So per completion, it's got to be up there because he only completed like 30. He was over 10 yards of completion.
Hey, somebody sent me a clip on Twitter with Earl Mitchell, bro. Just as soon as we were talking about Earl Mitchell. And
I love the viewers. I love these people, man. I love them.
I think Earl Mitchell touched the chick's boob, yo. I gotta send it to y'all, yo.
Tag me, bro. Just tag me.
Oh my gosh.
I don't see Mitchell at all for a tackle or anything.
That sucks.
But he was in there. He was in there, though.
His presence was felt clogging up that run.
He did clog up that middle, yeah, man. And he did wear 93, Mose. You were absolutely right. That was funny. He was like, "Get out my way." But she looked like hey, man, it is what it is.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
I didn't say nothing.
Don't you do that.
I didn't say it. I didn't even think it.
All right, Nick, go ahead, man. Get your numbers off, bro.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick before we get into this. Who do you think led the team in tackles?
It wasn't Warner because he didn't start tackling to the end of the game.
I'm not going to answer because I'm looking at the stat sheet right now.
I think it's somebody in the secondary.
Was it Tart?
Nope.
Not Greenlaw. He didn't get his tackles till later.
Nope.
Was it?
But we were eating at the line. It was probably somebody like
Bosa?
It was probably somebody. No, it wasn't Armstead either. Armstead was busy.
It was Bosa.
Bosa.
Who?
Bosa. He had 6 tackles.
6 tackles.
Real. Oh damn! What I just dropped on my pocket.
6 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss.
Yeah.
One of his tackles, it was like 10, 15 yards downfield. I forget what wide receiver he came down.
And he had a batted down pass. And he had a batted down pass on
that screen. Yup, on that screen.
BBU.
Yo, the crazy part about my wife was laughing when it happened. She was like, "Why he slapped the ball like that?" I was like, "Babe, that's what he's supposed to do." I was like, "He's supposed to do that." It was like what you just see his hand, and he just slapped the ball like he was mad at it. I said, "Babe, just watch it."
Ingram's out of the game now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's emotionally hurt. That's what happens when your team is all this tough talk, right? That's what he said. Mark Ingram's out. That's what happens. That's what happens when your team is supposed to be the big bad wolf on the camp, and somebody come in and smack him in the mouth. All of a sudden, these injuries start popping up. We went through it the last 2 years, right? We saw it here. All of us. You remember how many players were just dropping like flies down the end of the season when we were real bad, and all of a sudden these guys get a big hit and they playing right through it, right? Like, come on, man. We saw it tonight with Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa had the wind knocked out of him. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, what happened? His core injury again." We worried.
But when he got up,
Did you see how hype he was?
He was so
You see how hype he was?
He was like,
Nick Bosa.
He was,
and
like,
he was on the sideline like, let's go. Like, yo, Nick Bosa, because he's so quiet. You know his demeanor. You know how he speaks. When I see him do that, I get chills, like, immediately. Anytime Nick Bosa starts celebrating, I start going crazy, man. I really start going crazy.
Because you know that same energy that he has is flowing through everybody on the defense.
Exactly, man. It's contagious.
And it's coming from the youngest player on the defense.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
man, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous, the stuff that's going on.
Bosa had me so hyped, bro. So I'm not even gonna lie. I'm surprised there ain't no videos of me out right now.
Oh, Nick, you was out there acting up, Nick?
Bro, I'm the Nuno's hype man.
Oh,
you think Wayne Breezy's hype on here? I'm standing on tables every first down. That's another 49ers first down. They're like, oh. Like,
I ain't standing on no damn table.
Bosa had me so hyped, bro.
I'll stand on tables if they throwing dollars at me. I'll do it then.
I'll do it too. Yeah, oh, no doubt. The dollars is flowing.
All right, so let's get into these stats, and then we'll talk about individuals of tonight's game. All right, and going forward. Jimmy Garoppolo, 11-19, 131 yards, 6.9 average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for a 74.7 rating.
Yeah.
I'll touch a little bit on Jimmy Garoppolo and what I thought tonight. I thought he was good. Obviously, that one pass, he kind of stared down. The linebacker didn't bite on the play action and just came across and made a good play. But that I would personally put that on Jimmy because he just literally took a 3-step drop and stared down the receiver the entire time.
It was, that was by design. That was a one read play, right?
Yeah.
And with the play
action,
action,
Debo was
we
open.
Discussed this. Yeah, no, we discussed it in was it the halftime show?
Halftime show.
We discussed it. If what the play action was supposed to do, the fake handoff was supposed to get the linebacker to step forward 1 or 2 steps. And had he done that, that rainbow drop over his head would have been perfect for the completion. But he didn't. Kendricks read it so well, he didn't bite on the play action. That's why Wayne was saying, we got to get rid of the play action. It's not working. And and if you notice, when he jumped up to get it, he high pointed the ball. That was the high point of the ball. So imagine now, just think of this. He got at the perfect point, the highest point of the ball, right? It was already about to start coming down. So if he had a step forward, just a step or two, it would have been went right over his fingers, and it would have been a completed pass for a big gain. So that was a great play by him. But you're right, though. Jimmy played a good game, though.
Speaking of the play action, they switched from a 1 high to a 2 high to take the middle of the field away.
Exactly. That's what.
But we said that though. We said that on Thursday that we're going to take the middle of the field away. Remember when we?
Right, but I'm saying after the first drive.
But that's why it stopped working, guys. That's why. Right, and that's that 2-man deep. That's why it stopped working.
When we traveled down the field and ate the middle up, the next drive on defense, they
adjusted. Yes, sir. They put the 2 safeties back.
And they took the middle of the field away, and then that's when it opened up our run game.
Mm-hmm.
And we said that. We said that, it's going to be about who can make the better adjustments. Because these teams play each other really well, what they do well. They just had no adjustments. They didn't even have adjustments in the Saints game. Let's be honest. The Saints offense just didn't show up at the end of that.
They adjusted on defense, but they could only play. They don't have the luxury of playing both. They have to pick one. Either we're going to stop the pass or we're going to stop the run. Or we're going to try to stop the run. So, they chose to stop the pass, and we just decided to run the ball down their throat for 10 minutes.
In the outside zone with 2 safeties, it's very easy to run. If you can get past the linebackers, you're getting an additional 6-7 yards on those carries.
They are getting at Lamar Jackson. Oh my God.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's been sacked twice now?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Leading rusher, Tevin Coleman, 22 attempts, 105 yards, 4.8 yards on average, 2 touchdowns with a long being of 11. We already gave props to Tevin Coleman.
But you know what's dope about that long being 11? That means that he earned every single yard. That wasn't a fluke. You know how Breida had that one big 75-yard run that game? He finished the game with 117 yards or something like that, but 75 came on that one kick. That wasn't like that this game. That was real. That was consistent.
These were ground and pound yards. And Tevin Coleman had a big-ass run he could have had he not 2. One, he got arm tackled and
Yeah.
spinning, and I'm like, dude, just run through the arm. And the second one, remember he ran for the first down, it was like 8 yards, and if he didn't,
It was on the right side of the field.
yeah, and he dove. It's like he just should have stayed on his feet. Nobody touched him. He just was trying to get the first down to run clock
And
down.
honestly,
Yeah,
when he did
he
that,
knew
I was
it.
like, yo, he wasn't touched. Get up, go. But they blew the whistle. I didn't think he was touched on that play.
Oh, my
And he
God.
knew it. He knew it. As soon as he hit the ground and popped up, he was
Yeah.
like, he
Yep.
knew it. He knew he should have stayed on his feet.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure that he was touched, but I guess I don't know if that counts as giving up your body or what. They blew the whistle. They blew it dead because there was a Niner player right there, and they tried to pick him up real quick. Like he popped up, and they looked like they wanted to tell him to go, but I think the whistle blew, and they were like, all right, that's it.
Yep. All right, so Mostert, 12 attempts, 58 yards, average of 4.8, and a long of 10.
Same thing. Same
Solid.
thing. These boys are grounding and pounding, man.
Same exact thing. Breida had 8 for 17 yards, 2.1 yards on average, 6 of the long.
And the
Deebo
fumble.
Samuel,
And a fumble.
And a fumble.
And he had that. Hey, y'all think we bringing back Breida next year, man? Honestly.
Nope.
I don't know.
We got listen. For a season and a half, Breida was the best running back we had on the roster. Let's not make any mistakes about that. He was the best running back we had on the roster. But these last 4 or 5 games, he seems like he had been in the doghouse. I think that fumble they'd have been. I don't know, man. That fumble right there, because that was with less than 2 minutes left in the game. He fumbled that ball and they got the ball back right there. I just don't know if that might have sealed his fate for a 49er in the future, man.
You know who Breida reminds me of? And you want him to be, I don't know if this running back was super good, but he definitely was good. Tiki Barber. You know, you want him to you want to root for this guy because he has a tremendous speed and tremendous burst through the hole and can get to the outside zone very quickly. But, you know, he struggled with staying. Every year we've had him, he struggled with staying healthy. And every time he gets hurt, somebody else says, I need a job. And Mostert is like, I need a job too. Man. I love you, Breida. You know, you my boy, but I could run the ball too, man, and I can stay healthy. So it's unfortunate for Breida. The fact that he is restricted, though, if we wanted to bring him back, I mean, we could. I think the 49ers is going to call up Jeff Wilson, and they'll draft another running back, bro. Or not waste a draft pick on a running back because we only got 2, 3. Go ahead and get another guy off the undrafted, which is what Breida was. So that's one thing I think Kyle is good at. Like, he's good at finding diamonds in the rough and making them great, making them play in his system. I would say that most out of our running backs, it's funny. We just argued about quarterback MVP, blah, blah. I would say most would be the MVP of the running backs, and here's why. He just brings more to the table. Okay. And they catch a game, and the run game, obviously he averages more run yards. And the fact that he still plays special teams is big, because him getting that fucking fumble recovery, which he should have got his ass up and ran the ball in for a touchdown like that. I mean, I think that's the play he got hurt on. Matter of fact, him getting that was amazing. I almost forget he's our gunner. Like, you know what I mean? Mostert has been a breath of fresh air, but I don't want to take anything away from Breida. But I just think the fact that he hasn't been consistently holding on to the ball whenever he's given the opportunity is that Falcons game. He fumbled the ball. Like, this game, he's fumbling the ball. Like, he can't fumble the ball. Like, you can't fumble the ball.
I wouldn't as much go and say consistently, because he has 2 fumbles on the year.
Either way,
I wouldn't say
it's consistently when it's too close. I can see it.
Wait. There's a difference between fumbles on the year and lost fumbles on the year. He's got more than 2 fumbles on the year.
Right. Because he had
I'm talking 2 fumbles lost on the entire year.
Didn't he have a fumble? Oh, no, he had a bobble pass, and it was an interception in the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Either way, that hurt the team, Nick. My point is, he's got to stop doing things that's hurting the team and do more things to secure his position. If you want to play running back, man, you can't fumble the ball in garbage time, man. You can't.
This is true. If it was a 1-possession game, that fumble means more. So, it really, Breida may be out, but I don't think it's because of what he's doing this year. I think it's because Jerick McKinnon will be back and he'll be running the football next year.
So you think he'll be back?
I still don't think that this team will get rid of Jerick McKinnon without seeing him in this offense. They would already injury settlement him.
I think so too. I think Kyle signed him and Lynch and them.
Oh, damn, this your car I hit, man?
They went and got him for a reason. And
I opened my door all hard. I chipped up the paint a little bit. I didn't know this was your car. My bad, man.
Y'all can't tell me y'all don't want to see what Jerick McKinnon looks like in this offense. Like I want to see him catch the ball in this offense, yo. Even if he get hurt after the catch, I just want to see him catch the ball for like a 3-yard gain and then gain like 60 yards. Like I just want to see if he can make a guy miss. I do want to see Jerick McKinnon.
But is he going to be the same 2 years removed from playing real football?
Let me ask you this: how much more hurt did he get? Like he re-aggravated the injury. It's not like he re-injured it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's actually taking.
How you guys doing?
What's good, brother?
Good, how are you?
Tony T. He's always in the chat. He types in Similac.
Hey, what's good, Tony, baby? What's good, baby?
Nice to
I'm
meet you,
not
man.
a 49er fan, but I support you guys' show.
Appreciate it, brother.
You guys did real good today. Much love to you coming up next few weeks.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Much love.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So I wonder if this was one of those seasons where Kyle said, "Hey, man, I need you super healthy. Take the season off. Put you on IR. We're gonna get you healthy, and we're gonna smack the league in the face when you come back." You know, Kyle does stuff like that.
Listen, if that's his master plan and it works,
Right.
listen, I'll be just as happy as everybody else.
Right. But it's a chance that it might not, is what you're saying. And I totally get what you're saying.
And honestly, I think John and Kyle will have a contingency plan if it doesn't work out. If they see him in training camp next year and it is just not right, it's just not the same, then they'll have a contingency plan. But if come training camp next year and they see, okay, this is what we thought it was going to be, then listen, I can't wait to see Kyle really, really unleash him in this offense next to Mostert, next to Tico. So yeah, that'll be good.
And now McKinnon being the scat back, right? And then you got your Tico starting at your one, and then you bring in the spell Tico Mostert. That is a much more dangerous offense. I mean, running back scheme. And you still got to figure out what you want to do with Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, and I want to see I want to see at least some portion of that with Tico and McKinnon on the field at the same time in the backfield, or any combination of two of those three guys on the field at the same time. Because linebackers are not going to. Do we cover this guy? Do we cover that guy? We got to cover both of them. I think it's just going to open up so much more. You have two running backs on the field who can catch at the same time.
Like two running backs, one tight end. You run 21 personnel. Think of the motion schemes Kyle runs, right? Think of the motion. If McKinnon goes into motion, somebody got to cover him. It's going to probably be a linebacker, right? Oh my God! And then who's going to cover George Kittle on the line? And you still got to worry about what if Tico goes to the other side to the flat for a pass. The options. I'm gonna take another sip. I'm gonna do what Nick does.
What else you got for our stats, Nick?
I think we're on tight ends probably now, right?
Did he free it?
Nick, what you got for stats,
like
baby?
He's not moving.
Oh, Nick's froze.
Yeah, he froze up.
He'll come back. Well, I got some stats. Let me see if I got the receiving stats. Whew, what a mother freaking game.
I got him right here. So Debo, 3 catches, 42 yards. He had 6 targets. KB, 3 catches, 40 yards, 1 touchdown on 5 targets.
Yes, sir.
E-Man, 2 catches, 33 yards on 2 targets. Kittle, 3 catches, 16 yards on 5 targets.
Yeah, man. They chose to use George Kittle today as a blocker.
Yeah.
And boy, did he block. Man, when you're dealing with two guys on the line that can move inside, you talked about this yesterday, bro. Two guys that can move inside to the outside and have the same effect. Well, you definitely want to do whatever you can to protect your quarterback. I thought the offensive line played well. Other than the brain parts Mike McGlinchey had, I thought the offensive line should get damn near an A-. I didn't hear it. George Staley played well. Joe Staley played well. You didn't hear anything about Everson Griffin. Did Everson Griffin name get mentioned in this game?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of either. And here come my boy Tony. We're gonna bring Tony in. And
Tony.
Yo, what's going on?
What's good, baby? And Everson Griffin was a non-factor tonight, and it's probably because they had George Kittle chipping on his side, right? And the only other person you had to worry about, what's the other guy that they got the sack?
Hey, real quick, you asked if Everson Griffin. You asked if they mentioned Everson Griffin. Yeah, they did twice.
Okay.
Both times that George Kittle was blocking his ass. They was impressed with how a tight end was blocking their best pass rusher, Everson Griffin. They were talking about how offensive linemen shouldn't be. What's up, Kim? Yeah, let's go. They were talking about how tight ends don't usually block that well. He was doing it then. That's when they mentioned Everson Griffin.
Say go Niners.
Go Niners.
That's what I'm talking about. I can't get my wife to come on the show. That's love right there.
No, it's one too many. That's what that's called.
Tony, it feel good, don't it, baby? We ain't talking to you in a minute, bro.
It's awesome. They played great, and I give major credit to Kyle Shanahan and his game plan.
How was that? How was that D, Tony? Talk about the defense, bro.
The defense was, and I've been saying it time and time again. The difference that D Ford makes on that line, it frees up everybody, man. I think even Zettel got a sack. It was either Zettel or Solomon Thomas. Nope. I thought it was Zettel.
Zettel got a sack, bro.
But no, on the stat sheet they gave it to Solly.
Oh, but it was Zettel's sack.
Well, no, Solly got him first, and when he was on his way down, Zettel clipped his feet. I thought they were going to give him a half a sack apiece, but they credited it to Solly.
I'm not going to take nothing from Solly. Then he earned it.
It is what it is. Who cares? We won. It's all good.
Hey,
Mike. Could you? That's Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Go Niners!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Can you?
We get an extra day off, man.
Hey, Mike, I need you to do me a favor, man. Could you give credit to Coleman, please?
He did.
Oh, I did that already. I hit my bro already.
He did. Because you know, Tony, I said, Tony, who is the biggest T-Code supporter in this nothing but Niners group? And he was like, you, Wayne, you've been riding with him. And so he ate the crow. I ordered it on Amazon. It's on his way to his house. He going to eat that shit on national TV. He going to eat it on nothing but Niners.
Because, I think it's really odd how he rode Mostert the last 4 or 5 games of the season, and all of a sudden Coleman exploded this game. Okay, you see why they went out and brought this guy in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my man runs hard. He runs determined. And I wrote down a play. It was in the third quarter at the 13-minute mark where he got the first down. My man, it looked like he shot through a cannon, and someone just nicked his foot and he stumbled.
That's the play I'm talking about. That's the one I said. How did he fall? Because that was a touchdown. He was gone.
Yeah, if he didn't nick his foot, my man was gone. And he runs hard as hell. And listen, I like it. I like what I saw today from Kyle with the run first mentality. Really gassed that defensive front, slow them down. Jimmy made the one bonehead throw. It could have been potentially 2 bonehead throws if it wasn't for Kittle. But listen, man, it is what it is. They played one hell of a game. The defense is back. The one thing we were talking about pretty much in the group chat was Okello. I'm sorry. I know, Mike, you're a supporter of Okello. I like Okello, but
he ate the crow again, Tony. He ate it again.
If this is the regular season, you give Okello, see if he can bounce back. You can't do it in the playoffs. Because if you lose and he costs you that game, it's done. And you can't do nothing about it.
That. Because you know what? He gives up Brett Cone, or whatever his name, Cone. He put up the 40, and I think in the first half or some point in the game, the 49ers had only given up 4 first downs, and Okello was responsible for the first 3.
Yeah.
He was.
And he gave up 1 touchdown.
Yeah. And then after we took him out, they only scored 3 points the rest of the game.
And I'll tell you what, and that should never have been a touchdown because, A, that ball was underthrown.
Absolutely.
And give credit to Diggs for actually stopping his route and coming back to get that ball. So,
right, but see, that's okay. So you know how we credit Sherman for the route that he did on Thielen?
That was 100% film study, Mike.
Right, 100%. But what I'm saying is Akello was running that route for that guy, and if it wasn't underthrown, Akello would have been in place to intercept that ball. He was there, but because it was underthrown, he had to try to turn around, and that's when he got messed up. He slipped. My man caught it and took off for the touchdown. See, like you can't say hi baby, hi princess. Yeah, daddy's back at home. You can't say it's good for one guy and not good for the other, but he underthrew it that time. That's all.
I'm agree with Mike on that one, Tony, because that ball was underthrown and it threw Akello off. He slipped. He fell. You watched the ball.
No, it looked very awkward.
So
very awkward.
We could blame that. We could blame that shit on the defensive line. Had they just took a little bit more time to get to him, that ball would have been perfectly thrown. It would have been overthrown. And that Akello was set up. All he had to do was stay on his feet. That ball was pick six city, or at least batted down. There's no way Stephon Diggs is out jumping Akello Witherspoon on a jump ball. It's just not happening, and that's what happened. He fell down. But like you said, Tony, this is the playoffs. That's why they took him out of the game, right? Yeah. This can't happen again because we need to win this game. Kyle Shanahan, I believe if this was a regular season game, Tony, I think he would have gave him at least to the half to finish and to see if he would have did any more things. But no, like you said, this is the playoffs. That's why Kyle took him out. And guess who's going to start next week? I think Akello starts again. I just do.
Yeah.
I just think he does.
I think they start E-Man.
I think Akello gets to start, bro. I think Richard Sherman is probably Akello's biggest co-signer. And if you listen to Richard Sherman's presser, he said, "Hey man, until Akello messed up on that one play, he was playing a hell of a good game, and he was." Akello started going down when they went to his side, and he got that first pass interference call, which was BS in my opinion.
I agree with that. That was ticky tack.
That was ticky tack. They didn't have to call it. After that, and if you notice, as soon as that call happened, Akello got in Akello's head, bro. Akello, he's like, "Oh, is the next play coming to me? It's gonna come to me," and boom, he falls down. I'm not trying to say that E-Man doesn't play better or play better position. I'm not saying that E-Man shouldn't start. It's the reason why Akello started that game. Don't know what it is. We got to ask Kyle.
Well, watching the difference in the game once they benched him compared to when Akello was in, it just seems like I was gonna say Akello, Mosley is a lot more aggressive as a corner. Meaning he won't like he's I don't know how to explain it because I never played corner. Like I coached, but I never played it. So just the way his technique and how aggressive he is in run support and like even off the line of scrimmage, you always see he's getting his hands on the receiver.
Yes,
so sir. I don't know if it's a mental aspect. I don't know what it is. If like he overhypes himself and then he just like I don't know, but I think Akello does have talent, and he showed it prior to the injury this year. But I want to know why he just dropped off like that, because it's a significant drop off. I mean, he's given up what in the playoff? Not in the playoffs. The last two games, he's given up what 3 touchdowns? Five in the last 2 games.
This is his 5th touchdown
in 2 games.
2 games.
No, this is his 5th touchdown in 4 games.
In 4 games. So,
okay, so 4 games.
He gave up 2 in Atlanta, 2 in the Seattle game, and then this one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's clear that these teams are going at him. And that one play where Diggs got free and Akello had that awkward move that he had, you saw what they did. The Niners had 2 deep safeties. They motioned one guy who was on the inside of Diggs away from Diggs. The safeties rotated, and then he went to single high. And right there, if you're a quarterback, your eyes are locked on that, and you're going there no matter what, because you know that he's lacking the confidence and he's vulnerable right now, and that's where you need to go. It's either going to be a pass interference or it's going to be a deep play. So you got to give credit to the coaching staff as well, because they see this. They see how they can take advantage of Akello by shifting the formations to get him on an island or get him in the zone coverage by himself with deep third help. Yeah. So I don't know. They got a decision to make. They got to really look over film, see what they could do. But I just like what Mosley brings to the defense right now.
I agree with you, Tony, man. I love it when you break stuff down and you put it into layman's terms. I think Mosley is the guy that they go with. But I'm hoping Mosley is the guy that they go with. Let me correct that. I just feel like there's something that Akello does in that practice. You know what is good though? It's good to have a guy like Mosley, so that way if something happens, if it's not working out, man, a guy could come in here and just. Not everybody can play coming in off the bench. Look at basketball. Not everybody could come off the bench and drop 30 points like Lou Williams, right? Or like a Jamal Crawford. Not everybody has that capability of being a bench player. I thank goodness that Mosley has that ability to be able to come in. So maybe that's why they go with Akello, and they hope that it turns out to be great. And if it does, cool, it's a plus. And if not, let's go ahead and insert Mosley. Luckily, he's one of those guys because, we got K1 in the slot, Quan Williams in the slot. He's doing his thing. He's locking down on his guy. And everybody's just playing sound football. And with the pass rush being what it is, these guys got to ball out in that secondary. I just think he freaking fell, y'all.
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna touch on, and I gotta go. But it's everyone's wondering why is Akello still here? Why is he still here? Well, one, they're not going to cut anybody in the middle of the season, but two, what they like about him is the attributes, the physical attributes, the size, the arm length, the footwork, the hips. He's got everything they want in a corner. He's just gotta be consistent. He's got to put it together, and that's why it's hard for them to let him go, because players get better as they stay in the league. That's just what happens. You know what I mean? And at some point, I think they feel like at some point he's going to put it together. And that's why they're holding on to him. You know what I mean? That's why Eric Armstead lasted as long as he did, right? You see the flashes. We saw the flashes for years with Eric Armstead. And then he finally was out there for all 16, and it was like, okay, we got something. They brought him back on a one-year contract, which is this year. And then boom, here's a double-digit sack. He's the sack leader for the team, right? And so it's the attributes. They have the physical attributes. Now you got to see if they can put it together. You got to give people time to mature, but that's a tough position to wait it out for. That's a tough position to drag it out for. So, especially when they, like Tony was saying, they shift motions to put you on that island to see if they can take advantage of it. So, it is what it is. It'll be what it is. If they let them go, they let them go. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings none. Shit, I got Dante Johnson back on the team, so.
So that means
hey, fellas, man, y'all keep holding it down, though. I got to get up out of here. Faithful, man, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it all. I don't know how much longer these fellas are going to be rocking, but y'all hold it down, man. Y'all do your damn thing. I got to run in here. I did some boxing on tonight. I got to watch. I want to continue watching these Titans. I got to call my pop. My pops is down in Georgia. He's a Titans fan. So I got to give him a call and gas him up and all that stuff. So I'll hit y'all up later on. I'm looking forward to doing some more videos with y'all. And the breaking news video will be coming tomorrow when we find out who the 49ers are playing in the NFC Championship game.
Yes, sir, man. So we're going to be on for about another 5 more minutes, Mike. So go ahead and handle that. Handle your pops, man. Have a good time, man. Celebrate this victory. I know you got your cigar on. I know you got your little cognac on or whatever your shot on, man. We appreciate you, brother. So enjoy the night. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, fellas. Y'all be safe out
there. Later.
Peace out. Yeah, man. So we just bringing this overreaction show to everybody, man. I got another 5 minutes in me. I've been up for like 2 days straight, man. I gotta close my eyes in a little bit.
How'd you get out of class?
I didn't. I coerced the teacher to hurry the frick up. Like I was just like, yep, okay. And somehow he finished at like 3:30, and nice. I got on the highway. I got on the show real quick, and I got home at 4:35. Yo, I got to see the kickoff, yo. I got to see the kickoff, and it was crazy. It was the best thing ever. My wife had the TV on NBC 30. It was ready for me. All I had to do was come and sit on the couch. You know what I'm saying? She had my chicken shawarma ready for me in the wrap, and I was just ready to go, man. I was ready to go. But I wanted to let the faithful know that I was never worried about this game. It was nothing about Kirk Cousins that scared Wayne Patrick Breezy Brown. It was nothing. It was nothing. Nothing about Dalvin Cook. Nothing about the Minnesota team. Nothing about Mike Zimmer. I ain't give what they did to Drew Brees. We did the same thing to Drew. Matter of fact, we put up more points on Drew Brees. We made him shoot himself out. Matter of fact, the 49ers helped the Vikings beat Drew Brees. What do I mean by that? We made Drew Brees throw his goddamn arm out to where he couldn't throw no more when they played the Vikings. So if it wasn't for us, the Vikings wouldn't even been in that game. Just calling it like I said.
No, I remember you saying that. I remember the tweet you put out was like, listen, y'all got to have more faith in the boys. And, I mean, a lot of people were scared. You know, they saw the Vikings go into New Orleans and beat them like we beat them, and they were like, oh, well, they must be on our level. And it's like you said, I mean, One, I gotta eat crow myself because last night over under, I thought Dalvin Cook was going to get more than 115, total yards, and the defense came and shut him down. He
What
didn't
did he
have
finish with, like 20 yards?
Let me see. Hold on, I got the stats right here.
He had like 21, 20
He
something.
had 9 carries for 18 yards.
Yeah, man.
Average 2 yards a carry.
And how many catches, receiving yards? Like
he
none.
had 6 catches
for 8 yards.
8 yards on 8 targets.
What did I tell y'all yesterday?
So 18 and 8. What is that? 26?
Yeah. What did I tell you? I told you he was going under that 100 mark. It was
under 50.
Yo,
Dalvin Cook was a non-factor, and all the analysts today were saying for Minnesota to have a chance, Dalvin Cook was going to have a big game. He didn't even have a small game. It's like he didn't get off the bus.
The problem is the 49ers are way too fast on that defense. They run the outside zone, so they could try it all day. Someone's going to be there, whether it's the strong side, the weak side, the middle linebacker, because the speed on that defense is unreal.
Tony, that's all I was trying to tell everybody. That's it. Even with Quan Alexander being out, I still thought that the speed would have been there.
How did he finish?
Let me look up his tackles. Man.
I mean, he's all right. He had no problems.
No injuries, no aggravations. I don't think he came out of the game early, other than we were up and they wanted to rest him.
I don't even see Quan. I was seeing the stat sheet.
Yeah, he's not on the stat sheet, so I don't know if he registered a tackle, but
he didn't. He had a couple of missed tackles. I did see that, but he was all over the field.
He was,
and that's what you want. And when I listen to Kyle Shanahan in the presser, I don't know if you guys got anything more than this, but I just wanted to cover this real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and we'll close out the show, whatever like that. Give you guys have your final words, whatever. Nick is having troubles with his internet connection. About to bring him in right now. And if Nick wants to stay on, you guys keep on rocking, but I'm going to go ahead and get out, spend some time with the family. But you guys correct me if I'm wrong. They said Coleman had a forearm injury. Mostert had a calf injury. Bosa got the wind knocked out of him. Mark the Ghost had a stinger. And that's all I got from the injury report. So I didn't get nothing else. I didn't get nothing on D Ford. I didn't get nothing on Quan Alexander. That's a plus.
Yeah,
Plus. I got to watch D Ford smile on the sideline. That cap, Tony, you said D Ford was going to be the factor. He was the factor on the defense.
100%.
I know Nick Bosa had the better turnout, but D Ford was the factor.
You have to look at that defensive line with him on the field, how everything opens up because they have the slide protection to him.
Mm-hmm.
You see it. Everything, because like I explained on the show previous, where the spacing between the gaps of the linemen, between the guards and the tackles, is increased because they got to cover him to get around the corner. So now that gives almost Buckner like a two-way, and you saw what he did on that one sack. He literally jump hopped that guy, swam his arm around, and just jumped right on Kirk Cousins.
Yes, sir.
If D Ford wasn't there, he don't do that because now the tackle's helping on the inside shoulder for the guard. So just by him lining up, he didn't have to get a sack. Just by him lining up and trying to run across the line of scrimmage, he could even engage a lineman and stay there. You still have to respect him. And we went from barely having 1 sack to what, 6 tonight or
6?
5?
So he had 6 sacks, bro. I got all 6 sacks right here. 2 for Bosa, Armstead, 4 Buckner. You said it was Thomas. I'm gonna give it to Thomas, and that was it.
Yeah,
6 sacks.
So I mean, you see the difference right there, and I mean, they're not a top-notch offensive line, but they held
solid, right.
They held Cameron Jordan in check last week.
They did.
So,
look, man. I thought that I thought that this defensive line plays stellar football, and with the additions to the pieces that they had when they started, they knew Kyle Shanahan, Robert knew what they needed to make this defense work. They knew what they needed to make the wide 9 base work on this particular offense. They needed speed, right, Tony? That's what you called it. And with the speed on the outsides, from the linebackers to the line, even though D Ford had a sack, but golly was he getting around that guy. And Kirk Cousins always had to throw it where? To a motherfucking check down, like the underneath running back, because D Ford was coming so fast at that guy. That hammy, I don't know that hammy looked good. That hammy looked good. It looked good. It must have felt good because he was playing as if it wasn't a factor.
Yeah.
Nick, man, I hope you're doing good, man. I'm going to go ahead and jump off the show in about a couple of minutes, but you go ahead and take over, man. All we did was cover some of the stats. We talked about the wide receivers. I think that's as far as we got. We've talked about the defense and how many sacks they had. So go ahead and do your thing, Playboy.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. For some reason, the internet just like cut out and wasn't coming back on. So, Verizon, my bill's paid, so I get that shit fixed.
Work that out.
Yeah, work that out. Yeah. So, you talked about the receivers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we went over receiver numbers.
Over the receiver numbers,
and then you obviously went over the sacks with defensive linemen. Like Tony was saying, I just want to touch on that a little bit. I mean, I've been saying this for a while now. D Ford, we talked about how people were saying, would you guys cut D Ford at the end of the year to save on cap space? Blah, blah, blah. It's a $6.4 million dead cap hit, and that's all it would be. With the way that the contract is written out, D Ford is bigger. Well, D Ford is a very detrimental piece of this defense. And it's not just because of D Ford itself, but that other pass rush, somebody who can finish or get those pressures is very detrimental to this defense working the way that it is. We've seen this in the last, 6 weeks or so. We've seen it in the game against New Orleans. We've seen it in the game against Atlanta. We've seen it in the game against the Rams where they just started rolling out. When you have that speed coming up that line, you can't do those rollouts. We missed that. Hi, Tony's wife.
Say hi.
What up?
All right, she didn't get to
What
see
up?
me.
What up? It's a pleasure to finally see your face and who's with this goofball of a husband you have here.
Best husband ever.
Yes. No, Tony's a great dude. Great dude.
Except for when the 49ers fuck up and then Tony's like, oh, we not.
Did Tony break anything tonight yet, though?
Nope, because
No.
we was up the whole game.
Yeah, we were winning the whole
We did
game.
the whole game.
I tell you, it came close.
What was it like in the house when it was 14-10?
Listen, it came close when I saw Bosa laying on the ground like that.
We were up by like 14 points at that point.
When I saw Bosa on the ground, I was like, oh, mother.
That's all right. He watched the game and I just stood upstairs and drank all night.
Hey, you can't beat that either. You definitely can't beat that either.
He invited friends over to watch the game and I drank.
Nice. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Tony, you got to go back and show her the clip of you like slamming down on the desk and getting so hyped because it makes me die laughing every single time that I watch it.
Nick, she lived there. I think she know what the
Yeah,
death
but she
was
might have
like.
been upstairs drinking.
I'm sure she saw the after effects of the
Yeah, but I'm
death.
sure she heard it.
Yeah, and heard it.
Oh, you're talking about the Saints one?
Yeah,
when you're like,
bro.
let's go! Like, I thought the desk broke in half.
No, it almost did. I had to put
Yeah.
a screw in over here, but it's all right.
It was awesome. It was awesome. But like I was saying about D4, man, he's you can stop those type of rollouts and things like that to the quarterback's strong side to get out. And you've seen that with Jared Goff. Most of the rollouts that he was doing was rolling out to the side that D4 would be on.
would have been on. Yes, sir, Nick.
And there was no fast, quick pressure coming upfield to contain that. And we've seen the difference there. You see tonight, we've been slacking. Like I gave that stat the other night. We had 36 sacks with D Ford and only 9 without. So that's a huge difference, right? And those 36 snaps came in 108 snaps, I believe it was, and the other 9 came in 807 snaps or whatever it was. Huge difference. So to say that we could cut D Ford to save money, to me is just a silly take on anything, because you can definitely tell how beneficial he is to this defensive front. We just seen it tonight. We got 6 sacks for his first night back.
6.
We haven't had a 6-sack night again since the Green Bay game.
And other than the big play to Diggs, what did they do in the passing game?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So
he's very detrimental. I don't know if you guys all agree with that. But that's just my take on D Ford. And obviously if he can get healthy during the offseason with that knee tendonitis, I think we have a guy that can, control a game. And it only makes Bosa better. You've seen times where Bosa was the edge guy and D Ford was the inside guy on the same side, but they would run a stunt. And Bosa was getting there almost every single time when they ran that stunt. And you saw he would break off blocks and make a tackle. D Ford with the 1 sack. But the pressures is what was getting in Kirk Cousins' head as well as Armstead, because Armstead balled out tonight as well. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it on defensive side of the ball. I want to talk about Mitch Wishnowsky a little bit. We've seen there was a question in the chat section, and I wanted to touch on this, but he said, do you think that the 49ers are having Mitch kick off short purposely? Because the first kick of the game, he boots out of the back of the end zone. Every other kick was short to where they run it out. So do you think that we're possibly –
I don't know.
It looks like some of his balls are really, really high on kickoffs.
They were getting too many yards.
And then others just don't have no air, and they're like straight line drives, and they're landing at the 5 to the 1 instead of getting the touchback. Do you think this is something the Niners are doing purposely because of the speed of our gunners, or because you've seen that when he started kicking the ball short, these guys were getting 20, 25 yards on returns?
Were they? Because they were starting at 35, 40-yard line.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. If you're getting the ball at the 5-yard line and you're getting the ball at the 25, 30, you're up there. You're getting 25 to 35 yards returning.
Yeah, I'm not.
Do you think Kyle Shanahan or Tim Hightower is doing this on purpose, or do you think it's just Mitch Wishnowsky really doesn't have the foot for kickoffs? And sometimes he just kicks it really good, and most of the time he just doesn't get good kick on it.
Yeah, I think it's that, because you got to realize that's not something that he specialized in. And with Robbie being up there in age, they figure they save Robbie's legs just for field goals, and they use Mitch because he has a big leg. They use him on kickoffs. This is his first real opportunity on a consistent basis to be on kickoff. And even if you look at the way, he sets up for kickoff, it does look a little awkward. It doesn't look like your traditional setup for a kicker on a kickoff. So I just think, as he continues to practice that part of his game, he'll get better. But I will say this, because I was talking to Joe tonight on that punt where we got the fumble. I was waiting for that all season because we heard about it in the off season that his punts, he has so many different spins that he can put on the ball that it's hard to catch. And I was waiting for a muffed punt, and that muffed punt came at the perfect time in this game. And it was 2 tonight. You're absolutely right.
I was just going to say it was actually 2 tonight, but Tarvarius Ford didn't attack.
Right. And I think he fell down and then got up and then saw that the guy dropped it. I think if he was still standing up and saw, he may have been able to dive compete for that ball. But we got 2 of those tonight, and then 1 that we recovered. I was waiting to see that from Mitch, and he gave it to us today. But as far as the kickoff, I think that's just something that he needs a little bit more practice with.
Real quick news flash: Tennessee Titans just scored another touchdown, and it's now 21-6.
What?
Go Titans! I picked them to win this weekend.
Hey, they called this an upset.
I honestly didn't hear anybody talk about no other game but the 49er game. And they called the Vikings to win that.
Bro, I heard so much more about the Baltimore-Tennessee game this weekend than the Minnesota game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Maybe I just.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad that we got the late game. We had the early game this week, and then next week we have the late game.
Yep, 6:40. Yes, sir.
Oh, Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass?
He threw a touchdown pass. I don't know if the guys answer it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off, but I just wanted to throw my last thoughts out here before I get off. I just want to talk about the 49ers and who they are possibly going to face next, right? It's either the Green Bay Packers or it's either the Seattle Seahawks. Both of those teams they have beat, right? The Green Bay Packers seems to be the better matchup, but there's a part of me that wants the Seahawks team with a full mother freaking defense because I don't think Russell Wilson will play as well as he did against D Ford, this line with I just don't think he does. I know he got weapons, but I don't think he plays as well. I would love to see that matchup. I would love to really be the crown of the NFC Championship, of the NFC West, and really own them like twice in one season. I wish we would have beat them the first time. Then I probably wouldn't be saying this because they would be fleas to me. But the fact we lost that first game, I would love for them to come in to Levi Stadium and we actually play them full-fledged with our D and go ahead and just pick them apart. I would love to see the game plan that Kyle Shanahan will put together against that Pete Carroll gum-chewing sucker game plan. And just watch that on national TV and just be a happy kid. Like, to me, I know that's not the Super Bowl, but winning that game on those lights would be my Super Bowl. Like, it would mean so much to me because you guys don't know about the history about the Seattle Seahawks because my birthday is next Wednesday. It's January 15th. And every year around this time, it's the NFC games. And I remember my wife, who wasn't my wife at the time, threw me a surprise party. And Richard motherfucking Sherman, bro. That I hated the black off of him. I hated everything about Richard Sherman because he literally, not Russell Wilson, he made sure we didn't win that game. Okay. And it was nothing I liked about Richard Sherman. And I would love for Richard Sherman to go ahead and just take the life out of Seattle because he owes that to them. They cut him, yo. They cut him. And you know what they say about treasure. You know what they say about that, another man's loss.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
You better preach. That's what they say. Richard Sherman took a bet. He betted on himself, decided to go. And no agent said, look, man, I'm going to come to y'all. I'm going to show y'all why I'm going to be better. I'm going to perform. Y'all can pay me in incentives. And we're going to go out here and compete. And look at that man now, yo. Look at this team now, yo. Like, I really think whoever they get, whether it's Green Bay or whether it's Seattle, is going to be in for a rude awakening when they come to Levi Stadium next Sunday night.
Titans just are
onside kicked?
Nope. Titans recovered a fumble.
I'm getting off the phone. I'm going to bed. I love y'all. Peace out in the Middle East. Love you. Peace.
Talking about what he's saying, I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on who you want to play. And I'll tell you who mine is. I don't want to play Seattle. And the reason I don't want to play Seattle is not because I don't think we can beat them, but I think the road to the Super Bowl, and especially if the Ravens get eliminated today, we have to play pure pocket passers. And this defense runs better playing against pure pocket passers. And if you can get the Green Bay Packers to eliminate Russell Wilson, and you get the Tennessee Titans to eliminate the Ravens, and then obviously even with KC in a Super Bowl appearance or Tennessee in a Super Bowl appearance, they're not running quarterbacks. They're more pocket, in-depth type quarterbacks, and I think this defensive front just faces them better. Plus, it's going to be a hard road for Seattle in Green Bay because there's going to be snow on the ground. They're supposed to get a really bad snowstorm.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold, snow, but benefiting the 49ers, it's not that I don't think we can beat Seattle. It's not that I don't think we can beat Baltimore the way we're playing, but I think it benefits the Niners to have a pocket going up against a pocket quarterback more than it would a quarterback who can rush the football and hurt us if our pass and eliminate the pass rush.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one less thing for everybody to worry about. One less thing for the corners to worry about. One less thing for the linebackers and the defensive line to worry about when you don't have to worry about that quarterback escaping the pocket and picking up 15, 20 yards because everybody else is in coverage, right? So if you're asking me who I want to see Are you talking about NFC Championship or Super Bowl?
NFC Championship game between the Packers and Seattle.
Me personally, I don't have a preference because I feel like we've seen both of them. We've beat both of them. And Kyle has film from this season's games. So he's seen what worked and he's seen what hasn't worked. So now, I mean, Seattle, this would be the third time. Green Bay, this would be the second. So as far as NFC Championship game, to me, it doesn't matter who we play. I don't care. I understand your logic. You know, it keeps, you know, our defense, especially that front four, in attack mode. And they only have to worry about pinning their ears back and going to get Aaron Rodgers, even though he can escape. He's not Russell Wilson like. So, I mean, yeah, I get it for that and kind of give them, you know, not too much of a headache if we do win that game going into the Super Bowl. But if we talking Super Bowl, I want Kansas City because for the same reason we talk about Sherman with the Seahawks, I want to see D Ford against Kansas City, and I want D Ford in that game to just play with his hair on fire and like really, really want to kill Patrick Mahomes and stick it to Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs because they let him go and then they brought in Frank Clark. Like Frank Clark was a better pass rusher than him and gave him Frank Clark the same number. So I know D4 wants to see those boys really bad, and I think that would be fun to see.
Tony, what's your thoughts, man?
I agree. I agree with everything. But the only thing I'm going to say is I'm really not worried anymore because now we have Quan back. And Quan's one of those guys that can cover sideline to sideline. So if Russell does one of those oop-de-oops and tries to escape, you're going to have a guy closing with a lot of speed with his hair on fire. So, and plus you have D Ford back. So, I mean, we're more stacked right now on defense to play this team. And it's the first time Seattle's ever faced this team when they're at full strength. But obviously everybody wants a pocket passer because that's one less thing you have to worry about. So, I mean, listen, I'll take either or. If that's true that it's going to be 20 degrees and snowing, I don't think Seattle could win in that weather. I know they
have a lack of rush.
Yeah, they play in the Northwest, so I mean it's rainy, cold, but snowing and between 15 and 20 degrees is a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll take either one at this point. But you do want a pocket passer because, like I said, it's one less thing you got to worry about. And I'm gonna probably jump off now because I'm exhausted. But shit, we're in the NFC Championship game. Who would have thought that? We're here. You got to give credit to Lynch and Co. and Peters and Mayhew and Kyle. This team was built the right way, and you're starting to see it. And I think Kyle had one hell of a game plan on offense tonight. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to bed because I'm tired.
Let's go Niners.
Niners. Tony, I think we're going to have your wife on as an appearance instead of you. She talks more than you right now.
Yeah, well, I don't cut people off, man. I let them talk.
I know.
Finally, after all these years, let's go Niners.
Let's go. I love her. That's awesome.
Let's go tequila.
Let's go tequila. She got to
over there.
Go chat with us.
Yeah. All right, let me jump off, fellas.
All right, buddy.
Tony.
Appreciate you. Well, it's just me and you now.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Time.
Yeah, man.
All right, so you know, a lot of people are talking about I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't fear anybody in the NFC right now. I really don't. And that's not being like hard-headed or, you know, biased or anything like that. From what I've seen tonight with a full strength of a defense, and Tony was just touching on Quan Alexander from sideline to sideline. I don't even think that he's the bigger factor in running quarterbacks. I think Jaquiski Tart is.
Yeah.
And Jaquiski Tart is a way better tackler and analyzer and angle taker than Marcel Harris is.
Yes. And
I think he's bigger in this defense with running type quarterbacks than Marcel Harris would be. And I think that's the things that, you know, we should be looking at. Tart had a hell of a game tonight.
He did.
It was low key, but if you watch this game closely, he made some big plays. Made some really big plays.
Nothing over the top. Nothing deep down the middle to Kyle Rudolph. Like Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph, Irv Smith. Those guys were silent.
Bro, and then you seen once they couldn't get anything to the outside numbers, they started going to the tight end, and Dre Greenlaw locked it up.
Locked it down.
I think he gave up like 1 or 2 catches the entire night, and one of them was kind of a big play. It was like a 14 or 15 yard, but I think it was late in the fourth, and then the starters came out.
Mm-hmm.
When you can pull your starters out in the fourth to finish a game, you're winning. You're not winning like as in score-wise, but you're winning as in get these guys back on rest. I like to see the snap count for Quan Alexander tonight because I seen him out there. I did see over pursuing again with some missed tackles. But then again, I seen some really good plays from him as well. So, myself and Mike were talking earlier in the year before Quan got hurt, and it was like Quan's missing some tackles. He's over pursuing. He's playing really, really hype. But what benefits him in that portion is that this team gang tackles. So I thought that maybe a little more he started to try to punch the football out more, and the second guy coming in was taking the tackle. Instead of – usually it should be the other way around. The first guy there tries to make the tackle, second guy in tries to strip the ball. But it looked like to me earlier before the injury with Quan, he started to do that type of thing. What are your thoughts on the entirety of the defense tonight and all coming out healthy? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the number would be as in benefiting us to where getting these guys back, where do you feel it made the most drastic change in this game compared to the last 6 games we played without, or more without them guys?
Well, they showed a stat talking about the first 10 games, what our yards per game were on defense, points allowed, all of that stuff, and then what the last 6 games were. And I think the first 10 games we average points allowed was like 11.8. Last 6 was like 26.2. So with a full healthy defense, we got back to allowing 11.8 points a game. We held them to 10. We held them under that. We just talked about Dalvin Cook. I was telling Wayne before you got back on, I had to eat crow about the defense because in your over-under, you said Dalvin Cook would get, 115 yards over or under. I took the over. Just out of respect for Dalvin Cook. Defense said, no, not today. Not today. We looked up his stat. He had 18 rushing yards, 8 receiving yards. That man only had 26 yards
total.
Mark Espinoza, 28-6 Titans.
Yep.
That might be a wrap.
That's a wrap, dude. It's in the fourth. It's probably going to be going in the fourth quarter now.
Oh yeah, that's a wrapperoni with cheese. 26 all-purpose yards for Dalvin Cook. The wide receivers, Thielen, Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, look pedestrian. They made their offensive line look bad. Kirk Cousins, pedestrian. With that,
133 yards passing,
something like that.
If you take away the one big play on Akello, he's under 100 yards passing.
He's under 100. So all levels of the defense, and they built this defense specifically for this purpose. You go out and get Sherman. You go out and get Quan Alexander. You go out and get D Ford. You draft Nick Bosa. And you get the coaching staff that you bring in for all of these different levels of the defense. And you see the pass rush got there today, 6 sacks. The linebackers were running sideline to sideline, making sure none of that underneath crap was getting through, making sure the tight ends weren't working the middle of the fields. You see Sherman with the pick. You see E-Man come in and lock down the other side. Jimmy Ward and Pop-Tart, they were all over the field, manning that back third. So a full healthy defense. Listen, we're back to that first 10 games of the season. The way we were shutting people out, the way we made Jameis Winston look bad, the way we made Andy Dalton look bad, the way we made the Browns and their high-powered offense that, they have Odell and Jarvis and Baker and Nick Chubb and made those guys look absolutely bad. How we shut down the Carolina Panthers and made those guys look bad. You see that now with everybody back healthy. And I think we'll be able to do that again against either Green Bay or Seattle. And we could just continue to build on that first half of the season and what we put on display tonight.
We probably just beat the most talented team in the NFC. I would say actually in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, Dalvin Cook, good running game.
Yep.
2 stud wide receivers.
Yep.
A very good tight end.
Yep.
And a quarterback who can run the offense.
Absolutely.
I really think that even if you match them up against us, I'm still taking a Stephon Diggs or an Adam Thielen guys over guys like Kendrick Bourne and even possibly Debo because of experience right now. Then you go to Dalvin Cook, hard-nosed runner, runs downhill, hard to tackle. And then you have Kirk Cousins. If their run game gets going, Kirk Cousins is really, really good.
That's what Joe, not sorry to cut you off. That's what Joe was talking about. Everybody thought that because of the game Dalvin had last week against New Orleans and his health, they thought that the running game was going to, take off. And with our quote unquote deficiencies in run defense, they thought that would open up Kirk Cousins' play action. And they say, Kurt is very good at play action. Well, when your running back has 18 carries for 26 yards, it's not much play action you can do off of that. So that play action was eliminated tonight, and he couldn't go to that. And then he had to just drop back and pass. But with that pass rush coming in and with Sherman, those boys on the back end locking up the coverage, really wasn't much for him to do.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I said, I really believe I was nervous going into this game. And it wasn't because I didn't think we could win. It was just a matter of A, youth, B, first playoff, C, coming out too hyped, and D, Quan Alexander hasn't played football in a long time. How was he gonna react on the football field? Was the switch up going to mess up communication in the secondary between Marcel Harris and Tart coming back in, with Quan Alexander coming in and Dre Greenlaw switching back to Sam, losing Aziz Al-Shaair, having Jimmy Ward in the back, Akello Witherspoon's play. How well was Akello going to play? Was if he got benched, and I said he'd be on a short leash. I thought that he'd be on a short leash. He was a very short leash. How would Emmanuel Mosley come in and play? How will Jimmy Garoppolo respond? How will just this team in general respond? Because we all know it. The playoffs are a different beast, right? It's 0-0 records, all no holds barred, everything goes, and if you don't win, you go home. And that's the way it is. And that's why playoffs are having games like this, the Titans, 28-6.
But you know what? I thought I would. I didn't have those same fears about youth and inexperience. Because there's one thing about having experience, but I'm seeing it with our team having leadership with experience. You think of Jimmy G. Jimmy G was with the Patriots. So, yes, he didn't play, but he had to prepare under Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
You don't not prepare just because you're a backup. His preparation was the same as Tom Brady, because at any moment, Tom could have got injured, and now you have to go in and you have to execute at the same level. So he's been there, he's been around, and it wasn't just one Super Bowl. Jimmy was there for multiple Super Bowls. He was there for that. He was there for the 16-game season. He was there for the playoff run. He was there for the Super Bowl preparation. So you don't lose that knowledge. Then you look at Joe Staley, longtime veteran. Lamar Jackson just threw another pick. You look at Joe Staley. He's been to a Super Bowl with this Niners team. He knows what that's about. You look at Emmanuel Sanders in that wide receiver room. He knows what that's about. You look at Sherman. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's won Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows what that's about. So I think we have leaders in the right spots. Joe Staley talking with the offensive line. Jimmy Garoppolo with the running backs and his receivers. Emmanuel Sanders with his receivers. And you know how powerful Sherman's voice is. Sherman's voice and his leadership and his experience can carry that entire defense. So, yes, we have players that are inexperienced, but I think everything is coming together and forming perfectly for us at the right time. We know what the past couple years have been like. Before Kyle Shanahan and even Kyle and John coming in, it's been tough. You know, their first year here, signing a boatload of free agents because they didn't have any players. So they were just whoever wanted to sign, we need players. And then you look at the second year, okay, we got Jimmy Garoppolo. He's coming into his first season as a full-time starter. Week 3, he tears his ACL. So that kind of stunts the growth of the team, and we fall back a little bit. But now with our quarterback healthy and another year in the system and continuing to add pieces, you'll finally see it all come to fruition. So I think the leadership and the experience that the leadership has and how their voices resonate in that locker room, I don't see inexperience for other players being an issue. I think they lean on those guys, and you've seen that tonight, and I think we'll see that again next week.
And I agree with everything you said. And I think another addition to that is this team hasn't played like a youth. From day one, they've played like a playoff football team from day one, right? You've seen how big Nick Bosa was tonight. The lights weren't too big for him. Jimmy Garoppolo throws an interception and he comes right back and just gets right back into the game. And he performs his best when he throws an interception.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a light bulb goes off in his head and he doesn't make stupid decisions after that. Because if you go back and think about it, anytime that he's had more than one interception game, those passes have come off receivers' hands. It's never been he's just made a mistake and threw an interception in a bad play. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a few bad throws tonight by Jimmy Garoppolo, but saved by his defenders or by his receivers, knocking the ball away or knocking the ball out of their hands. Jimmy Garoppolo is just a born-bred leader. You can see it in him. He does his momentum, his mindset, none of that changes, no matter how big the light is. And all week, all you heard was, this is Jimmy Garoppolo's first playoff game. How's he going to act? It's not about, the Niners defense is really good. They're getting 3 key players back, which is going to make them even better. It's how's this team going to perform with Jimmy Garoppolo under center and never playing a playoff game? I don't want to hear shit else for the rest of the week. The Niners need to be favorites to go to the Super Bowl right now, no matter what. Because with the beating of Minnesota tonight, they were clearly the better team. Even if you go to and match them up against New Orleans, I think overall they're the better team than New Orleans because they have more weapons. If they get everything working on the same page, they're a better football team.
Absolutely.
Defensively, offensively, run game, whatever you think. But I'm really not worried about anybody that we face. I may start getting a little worried about Tennessee. But because they're playing hot right now. They got hot at the right time. They make a quarterback change. They go in. I want to ask you a question, though. All right, and this is not Niner related. And I want to hear what other people in the chat have to say as well. And this is what I'm going to say. If the Ravens lose tonight, does or should it eliminate Lamar Jackson for MVP?
No.
And why?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, MVP is only for what you did in the regular season, not playoffs. So they only account for weeks 1 through 17, nothing in the playoffs.
Right, but I'm saying there are other guys that are in consideration. Russell Wilson for MVP from the regular season, who is still in the playoffs and has a possibility of a chance of going to a Super Bowl. But I want to ask you this. You say no, right? He's done enough to get the MVP, and I agree with you on that. But what is it with we're sitting here knocking, not us, media is sitting here knocking Jimmy Garoppolo because he hasn't played well or he's never played in a postseason game, right? Go back to Lamar Jackson. You hype up this guy, and his first playoff start, he got destroyed.
Yeah.
His second playoff start, he's getting destroyed. So why are we not switching the momentum to before how is Lamar Jackson going to perform? Because he played like shit last year, and I know they're 2 different years. But
because he put so much on tape. And I think did they end the season on like a 12-game winning streak? Like, weren't they 2-2? And then they won the last 12 games. They're 14-2, right?
No, they were 14-2.
So I think at one point they were 2-2, and then after that they went 12 straight and won the rest of their games in the regular season.
Correct.
And by all of our eyes, he was dominant. And not only was he dominant, he made spectacular plays while he was dominant. And
right.
It wasn't just like, oh, there was one big play here or one big play there. It was like game after game. And then the Rams game on Monday Night Football, he throws for 5 touchdowns and completely blows them out. And then, he's throwing for 4 touchdowns the next week. And against the Jets, he throws for 4 or 5 touchdowns. And he's running the ball and he's spin moving dudes and he's juking. And he did all of this stuff. And then they ripped off 12 straight. So going into the playoffs, naturally, you're only going to go based off what you've seen recently, right? It's the whole, what have you done for me lately? And what Lamar Jackson has done was destroy everybody who came across his path. Well, except for us, because I think that was the only close game that he had.
Them to 20 points,
or
allowed over 20 points to them.
Right. So, they fell in love with him. Just like the year before, everybody fell in love with Patrick Mahomes and the 50 touchdowns. So, they fall in love with the stats. They fall in love with the wild plays. And then you get somebody like Tennessee who, on defense, who's the stud that they have? Exactly. And this is not Baltimore, Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Who's their stud on defense?
Mike Vrabel.
And again, this is no disrespect. If there are Tennessee Titan fans in here, this is no disrespect to Tennessee. But this is what happens when you have solid coaches and you have 11 players on each side of the ball who play for one another and who play together. Because I watch football and you watch football, I'm sure we can name a bunch of names. I can name Kevin Byard, Kenny Vaccaro, Adoree Jackson, Jarrell Casey.
That's probably their star right now, Adoree Jackson.
You can name names, but I would probably say that their biggest guy right now would be Jarrell Casey, but he's kind of been on a decline the last couple of years. And then maybe Kevin Byard, because I think he went to the Pro Bowl last year. But other than that, like, they don't have any household names that, all across the country, everybody has their jersey.
Benched their household name and went with Ryan Tannehill, who legitimately has a chance to go play in a Super Bowl in Miami.
Yeah. So I mean, when you look at that, it's okay. You can be enamored by the wild plays, but if you have a team that has solid coaching and players that understand what the coach wants them to do and they execute, then you have a game where people were calling the upset. And I'm sure some people really believed that there was going to be upset, but I'm sure a lot of people just wanted to say that it was going to be an upset just to talk trash or just to, just have something to say that goes against the conventional game pick. But now you see it's fourth quarter with 14:49 left and Baltimore's down 22 points at home with 2 weeks to rest and heal up and get prepared for this team.
You know, it's funny because last week I was talking to one of my buddies and he said, I took a 4 parlay this week and he chose Brady over Titans. And I said, look, I think this team's just too hot right now. And I think that they're going to go into New England and beat New England. He's like, well, you just said it right there. They're not going to beat New England in New England. I said, yes, they are. He's like, but they still have Tom Brady. You can never count them out. I'm like, they're going to beat them. And then when they go and play Baltimore, they're going to beat them too. And he says, why do you think that? I said, because this is what I want to talk to you about next. This is why I don't agree with sitting players week 16. I don't care how far you're up. If you won your division, if you're still playing for seeding or not, they sat their starters for 3 weeks without taking a snap.
Yep.
You've seen it with the Rams, how flat they came out. You're seeing it tonight with the Ravens. And this is why when I was talking to Mike before about this was I didn't care about going undefeated. But because we were talking about if this team's 15-0 going into week 16, do you sit or rest your players? And I say, no, I don't want to sit them at all. Like, I think that throws you off. Like, you get too settled in, you get too relaxed. 3 weeks is a long time. That's an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just taking practice snaps. So that's what I said to him. And I said this on the show as well. But I said to him, they haven't taken a snap in 3 weeks. They're going to come out flat. And Tennessee is not the team to come out flat to right now, as hot as they're playing the last 6 weeks of the season.
And I think that benefited us because we had to play week 17. Because if we didn't play our starters and win that game, we're not the 1 seed, we're the 5 seed.
Yep.
So that benefited us because we got those live game reps in a situation that was, by all accounts to the players, that was playoff atmosphere. That game in Seattle and even, the week before that and the week before that and the week before that, Green Bay, Baltimore,
New Orleans.
Those were all playoff atmospheric like games.
They had everything on the line.
So we got those reps in, and then we got the 2 weeks. And we needed that. Our bodies needed that because we hadn't had a bye since week 4.
Yeah.
So, that's what benefited us. And like you said, you see Baltimore on offense and defense. They just came out flat because 3 weeks is a long time. 2 weeks, okay, you have the first week and then the second week, and then you're playing at the end of that. But 3 weeks, that's a lot of time off. That's a lot of time, especially when your body is used to playing every week. That's a lot of time off for your body.
You got to look at it this way. The Niners had a 2-week rest, right? The 1 week after the game, but they still did bonus practices, right? Then gave off. But then the next week they were game planning. So the starters were in there. Week 15 or week 16. Yeah, week 15 going into week 16. I'm guaranteeing you the starters didn't play in practice. They didn't take any of the snaps because they weren't playing that game. So they needed to get their game plan right for week 17. So, 16 going into 17. I said 15 going into 16. 15, 16. But it's actually week 17 because, right? Yeah, week 16. Whatever. Week 16. Week 15 going into week 16. I'm thinking 17 because I keep hearing Emmanuel Sanders say, I don't want to play 17 weeks. But they don't take snaps there. They're set.
He says he doesn't want to play 17 games.
Yeah, he doesn't.
17 weeks in the season. So you're right, week 16 into week 17.
Right, correct. So because of the bye. So,
So
there's 17 weeks because of the bye. But so they don't take snaps. You're going with your backups because you're game planning. Then the following week, they start taking snaps. No, they probably didn't even take snaps because they probably had a little bye week.
Mm-hmm.
They only had 2 practices or so. And then the third week, you start game planning and taking snaps, but you're not taking hits. You're not really throwing the football. You're not really doing anything at practice other than game planning, right? And then go into this game and you're flat. So your defense is sitting. Your starters on your defense are sitting. Your starters on offense are sitting for 3 weeks. Like, that's crazy. That's to me, I don't understand it. Like, I just think that's such, like, I understand that you want to keep everybody healthy. And I understand Mark Ingram. He's nursing an injury, right? A calf injury. Fine. You don't play him or give him snaps, you know? But you look at him tonight, you're adding him in there, and he's just not 100%. And it's just like, okay, well, you got to play because we need this win or we don't play again.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. I just don't think – I want to hear that Lamar Jackson right now in the playoffs reminds me of Tony Romo in the playoffs. He has not performed. I'll take Deshaun Watson over him in a playoff game any day because he's been there with a Clemson championship and drove down and won a game against Alabama.
It's Bama.
So it's not like it was some fluke team. So I don't know, man. I'm just super excited about this team right now. Like, crazy, super excited. And I really don't think I'm nervous, and I don't want to get like biased or silly here, but I don't really think any team scares me in the NFC.
And listen, I agree with you. I don't think it's biased. I don't think it's cocky. I think it's just understanding who we have as personnel and then understanding who our coach is. How cerebral Kyle Shanahan is. It's really amazing to see his mind and how it works and what he puts together. So again, you already have 2 games of film this year on Seattle. So he'll be game planning for them a 3rd time. And then you already have a game of film against Green Bay. So you're game planning for them a 2nd time. And the way our defense played against Green Bay the first time in our building, now you add Quan, now you add D Ford, who both weren't in that game, and we still played lights out without them. Now you add them back to that.
Scary sight, man. Scary sight. And like you said, it's not being biased. It's just I have 100% confidence in this team, man. This team does not ever let anything be too big for them. They continue to play, have fun, and I mean, I can honestly sit here and say that if we do lose somewhere along the line, I'm completely proud of this team and where we've come, and it's only going to be up from here.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. If we win a Super Bowl, I wouldn't put against us not coming out next year and competing for another. Like, I don't think we will be saying, if we get 6 right now, I don't think we'll be saying quest for 7 for years to come.
Right.
And that has to go to Jed York coming out and saying an apology, doing the right thing, hiring the right person in Kyle Shanahan, allowing Kyle Shanahan to be a part of hiring the general manager of somebody who they're going to get along with. And then these 2 guys and Adam Peters, Parag Marate, the coaching additions, Chris Kocurek, Robert Saleh, big jump this year from previous years. Chris Kocurek, Robert Woods, Wes Welker, Miles Austin, the strength and conditioning staff. This goes from the very top to the very bottom. And I know there's a lot of people out there still say, oh, I'm not going to say thank you to or appreciate Jed York. Well, you need to, because Jed York has done everything that he possibly can to get this team back on the right track. And he's admitted he's made some mistakes.
Absolutely.
He said, we will get better. We will do this. And I'll tell you what, man, I really think we would have competed like this last year. We probably wouldn't have been as good, but I think we would have had probably 10 wins last year. I think I could think of 6 games that we would have won if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt.
Right.
And that's not with the additions of D Ford, Nick Bosa. And that team was bad last year tackling, but there were still 6 games we lost by 3 points or less.
Yep.
And you go from a 2-14 year to a possibly 10-win season to a 13-win season and going to the NFC Championship game. Damn, that just sounds so weird. Going to the NFC Championship game. Let me say that one more time. Going
to the NFC Championship game.
Because I need to keep saying it because it's just, oh my God. I'm so happy.
It's been a while. And to know that our team, who we root for, who we love, how many games have you been to this season? Rocking out with our boys and screaming and losing your voice. You know, us flying out to Cali this year to go to the home opener, being at, you know, the Niners meetup and going down onto the field after the game and watching my man Lil Pete get his picture with Quan because he promised him. I still remember seeing the Lamborghini when we pulled up. I'm like, yo, that's Quan.
We tried to turn around.
And 2 seconds later, he was gone. So like,
yo, we turned at that light and we couldn't even find him.
Couldn't even find him. Like so like, think of, you know, what we've been through as fans, is as the faithful with this team over the past, you know, 6 years, going all the way back to 2013 and everything that has happened in between. And now to know that we are one of 4 teams still playing next week and still have an opportunity to be the one team representing the NFC and one of the 2 teams in the Super Bowl. That's absolutely crazy. Like,
and for it to be the year 1994, Mike Shanahan's the offensive coordinator. The Super Bowl, we were 13-3. The Super Bowl was in Miami. And then you go to Kyle Shanahan being the head coach. And we were wearing 94 throwbacks this year from the beginning of the season. The Super Bowl was in Miami. We were 13-3. Like, is this really just destiny for this year? Like, it has to make you think about that. It's a special year. No matter what we say or do or anything else, nobody can take what good of a year we've had this year. And like you said, it's not just about this team playing well. It's about the things that we've done as fans or friends or whatever, you know, going to the games. This is the most games I've gone to in a year, or my entire life in a single year. I've been to 9 games this year. Like 9 games. That's half a season.
Yes, yeah.
But I got the nothing but Niners has grown. Got the all gas, no break stuff going at Levi Stadium. An invitation from the 49ers themselves. Pick up new sponsorships with Gold Bar, and who is partnered with the 49ers. Going to the home opener, like you said, smiling, having a good time. Like, it was like this year was just special. And I'll tell you, I still can't believe and fathom that we're going to the NFC Championship game right now. Like, I just can't. It's just, and awesome.
Not only are we going to it, but we didn't luck into it. They can't say, oh, well, you know, Wayne was either Wayne or you was reading Mike Thomas's tweets. Like, people can't say, oh, we backed into this.
Yep.
Oh, there should have been this call, or there should have been this call, or the refs missed this, or the refs missed that. We didn't back into this. We didn't luck into this. You know, we could have made it easier on ourselves, but, you know, we came out flat after that big win in New Orleans. We came out flat against Atlanta, and Atlanta got us. And, you know, if it wasn't for that loss, then maybe we wouldn't have needed Week 17 in Seattle. But everything happens for a reason. We needed that game in Week 17, but we got those mental reps. We got to feel what that atmosphere is like, because we know it's hard to play in Seattle. We know it's loud. We know they hate us. And that was for the division crown. So I think that helped strengthen us. And then now we get the 2 weeks off to rest our bodies because we haven't had a bye. And they said Emmanuel Sanders, when he got traded to us, Denver didn't have their bye yet, and we already had ours. So he basically played 17 straight weeks with no rest.
He's the first receiver to ever catch 17 pass in 17 games.
So we needed that rest, and then we come out and play like we did today. We earned it. We earned our right to be in the NFC Championship game. And I think if we play how we play, if we play like we did today, but we clean it up and we come out, more on fire, more sound, more crisp, we are going to earn our spot in the Super Bowl.
You know what? You were talking about Week 17 and the Atlanta Falcon game, right? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this whole season could have went a different way if it wasn't for one play. And that play was in New Orleans. And it was the 4th and 2 with George Kittle. If we don't win that football game, we don't have an opportunity at number 1 seed. The Atlanta game would have just screwed us and put us at the 5 seed automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Seattle game probably would have still did the division. But
I think we'd have been like the 3 seed if we won that.
Right. But if we win that, we would be the 3 seed, right? So I really think that – so not only because we won that game, but because of the circumstances, the energy in the stadium, competing up with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a really good football team and still coming out on top, I really think that play defined our entire season going forward.
Absolutely.
Because you lose players. You lost Quan Alexander. You lose D Ford. The energy wouldn't have been the same if we lost that. That would have been a hard loss to take. You go out and put up 46 points or 45 points and you lose 46-45 in a shootout. I really think that play was a defining moment, which gave us the opportunity and the mindset to make that play in Seattle on the goal line and hold them. The mess up in Atlanta also helped with that play. And I really think that turning point was New Orleans. If we don't beat them, we're not a number 1 seed. We're not home field advantage. We don't get the bye week. We're not even playing Quan Alexander and possibly D Ford right now because we would have been playing last week. That one play on 4th and 2 was bigger than we thought at the time.
Absolutely.
It's huge as a win, and we were good. But you don't think you would go back and look and say, man, if we didn't get that 4th and 2, we would never have been the 1 seed.
Domino effect, man.
It definitely is, and it's just that's why I say when these media people say something like we can't handle the playoffs or things like that, because like you said earlier, we've played in at least 5 playoff type games this year. Both Seattle, the Baltimore game, the New Orleans game, and the Green Bay game. The gauntlet, they called it.
Yep, they did.
The gauntlet 2-1. And we lost a game outside of the gauntlet. There's just nothing else I can say about this team, man. I'm super proud of them. I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl, obviously, not being biased. And I think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I really do have that good of a feeling. Now, obviously, I'm not one for calling and setting my chickens up before they hatch. And I'm on to whoever we play next week. And we'll end it with this question here. If Baltimore loses, do you think it locks Shanny in as the coach of the year?
I would have to say so. I think if you look at the teams that they played as opposed to the teams that we played, again, the gauntlet that we went through, and then to take Baltimore was a playoff team last year.
They lost in the wild card round.
They really didn't add much. They added Earl Thomas. They brought in Mark Ingram. They drafted, Hollywood Brown. But Baltimore was a playoff team last year. And with, where we were going 2-14, like you said, projected to win maybe 10, 11 games the following year with Jimmy as a full-time starter, losing him in week 3. Then we lose CJ Beathard, and we have to go most of the season with our 3rd-string quarterback, Nick Mullins.
Who is now our 2nd-string quarterback.
And, to go finish that season 4-12. and then to finally have all the pieces back healthy, and for him to go 13-3 as convincingly as he did it, both offensively and defensively, how could you not give Kyle Coach of the Year?
I agree, man. I think even if Baltimore does go any further, I still think Kyle Shanahan has it as a lock. And it's for all the reasons that you just said. Yes, Baltimore lost a few other players, and they only brought in a few players. They lost Eric Weddle. They lost they bring in Mark Ingram. They bring in Earl Thomas. They lose a few key factors on that defense. And they were a playoff team last year. So now you got a 2-14 team picking second in the draft who finishes 13-3 with the number 1 seed in the NFC compared to a playoff team who was already in the playoffs last year, and now they get the number 1 seed. We were a loss away for a win. Well, a loss, technically. We had a win, though, away from picking number 1 in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's no question about it. If Shanahan doesn't win Coach of the Year, it's a rigged process.
It definitely is.
Because we're 4-12, 2-14 to 4-12 to 13-3, and picking number 2 in the NFL draft. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know your ass needs to get the Nunos next week.
I don't think I have anything on the schedule. I have to be there. Every time you post videos, it's live in there. It's jumping. It's Niner fans everywhere. I love being in, atmosphere with other faithful. So if as long as nothing comes up on Sunday evening, then I'm there.
I can't even. Let me see. Yo,
crazy.
That's just outside at halftime. Dude. I gotta show you this one part. Yo, it's hype there, bro.
Live, yo. That's crazy.
Hey, Willie, what's going on, baby? That's my homie right there. What up, baby? So with the big shout out.
Oh, I got it. I need that.
Shout out Trey Willie.
Logo on the jersey. I need that.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I gotta find that right now.
Yeah, they have shirts like that. They got shirts like that too. Also, big shout out to Jonathan Rosa, who was there tonight. You guys checked him out on the live show as well. Driving 3 hours, man, for the second time this year to come to Nuno's from Washington, D.C.
He drove 3 hours?
Yep, tonight he was there. A little over 3 hour drive. Wayne Breezy's coming next week. He's only an hour and 20 minutes away because he's in southern part of Connecticut.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be coming. Look, Trey Willie says it. It was lit at Nuno's. Like, I'm telling you, best Niner bar by far around here. There ain't no more sitting in. What's the bar we used to sit in?
What, Buffalo Wild Wings?
Huh? Buffalo Wild Wings. What's the other one up there by the New Jersey Turnpike? When we played Carolina. Oh, you didn't go to that one?
No.
I think Joe was there. think Joe and Craig Konslik and Adam were at that one. I need to get all them guys together again and get out there, man. Yeah, but this logo is bad. I need to just get that tattooed on me.
That would be dope.
Oh, look, Niner by Nature just says that. I want to get that tattooed on me.
Yo, and the crazy part about it, I can't find it.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Is the Ravens game over yet?
No, it's I think it's like 6 minutes. No, 4:50, 4:53. They got a 1st and 10, but they're down 16. Yo, tell your man to send you that logo.
Yo, Trey Willie, send me that logo over, man.
Yeah, tell him to text
you have your avatar for your YouTube page.
Because I'm on Google and I can't find it, but I want it like exactly like that.
5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
Yo, what was the score? Oh, never mind. I see it right here. Niner by Nature said that the Ravens were plus 10, or the Titans were getting 10.
Jeez.
Wow. I didn't even think the Niners were going to cover the 9.5 point spread this week. I thought it was going to be a 6 or 7 point game.
Derrick Henry has 27 carries for 190 yards.
Oh, he didn't hit the 200 mark? I thought he hit the 200 mark. Oh, 200 all purpose he did, He did. I think he broke another record.
No, because it says he got 2 catches for 7 yards. And so, I mean, well, if you include the 3 yards passing, and he's over 200.
Yeah. Yo, do you know how good of a feeling it's going to be to see the Big Trust talk about how they just played poorly? And the guaranteed Super Bowl from Earl Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to love it. I wish football was on tomorrow.
And I mean, I like Earl Thomas. I mean, I like the way he plays the game. But he spurned us, didn't he, in the offseason? He didn't want to come to San Fran?
No, he didn't want to come here.
Yeah, because Sherman was talking about it, and they was like, if there's anything that I can say to Kyle on his behalf, definitely. But he didn't want to come to us. And I mean, it's cool. You went to Baltimore, y'all was 14-2, but it looked like your season wrapped up here, player. In the next 4 minutes and 31 seconds.
It just goes back to saying it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season, because once you get into the playoffs,
the tournament is different. It's 0-0 in the tournament.
You saw the Giants win a Super Bowl, and they were a 9-7 team.
A 9-7 6 seed wild card.
Yeah, that's crazy. And anything can be done, man.
Mm-hmm. You get hot at the right time. That's all that matters.
It's crazy, man. I don't know, man. You got any other thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, man. I got to go to the bathroom, so I was wondering when he was going to wrap it up. But faithful, man, stay humble. Like Sherm said, celebrate this for 24 hours. Our guys get a day off tomorrow and just relax and rest the body and watch the games. But we're right back at it on Monday once we find out who our opponent is tomorrow. Back at it, back in the lab, cooking up something, getting prepared. But, stay humble. I know there's a lot of people that's going to hate and talk about our team and talk about how we don't deserve it. We as faithful, we know the real. Only thing I will say is call out any bandwagons, man. Call out any band. Yes, the NJ one, Trey Willie, the one that's right there. Send us that. I need that ASAP, good brother. Thank you very much. Call out the bandwagons, man. That's the only thing I will say. If you wasn't riding with us at 2-14, if you wasn't riding with us at 4-12, you don't get to claim faithful right now. You don't get to wear this logo and to rock this red and gold. You don't get to do that. So any bandwagons, call them out. Question their fandom, because you don't get to switch and hop on the bandwagon, now that we're doing well.
I'll tell you what, not that anybody would ever do it, but man, we started this NBN when we had the 2-14 season.
You did.
We literally and stuck through it. As much as we didn't have much to talk about, we stuck through it. The grind, the conversations, to the following year. And I'll tell you what, man, I love all of the guys on the NBN crew. Much love to all of them jumping over here and helping us out and doing all those things. But it's a 24-hour a day, 365-day process. And, big shout out to Mike for holding me down as well when I can't do things and, vice versa. But there's no way that anybody can say anything about any of the guys that are on this NBN crew, especially, myself or Mike, because we've been through the trenches here, man. We've talked like, what are we going to come on here and talk about? Like, we're getting our asses stomped. But we just continually talked and talked and talked. And no matter what it was, we always brought you guys shows. So, look, Niner by Nature says, I can remember when the chat room only had like 50 people in it. We literally just hit over 8,000 subscribers in 3 years. We're almost at 9,000. That's 3,000 subscribers a year. Much love to all you guys, man. Much love to all you guys, and especially all of you guys at Niner by Nature, Frank, Debs, Yosef, Tim, Wes Alfred, Rocco. Like, these are all guys from the beginning that I can just remember from day one. So, big shout out to those guys, man. All of you guys for sticking with us. We are 14-3. Well, 1-0, I should say. 1-0 headed to the NFC Championship, man.
Yes, sir.
NFC Championship game. 1 game away from the Super Bowl. 2 games to be champs, and the quest for 6 is ended. And there's no more talking about, oh, well, we got 6 rings and you only have 5. We about to be up there with y'all.
Yep.
So, yeah, man. If this other than that, man, I don't really have anything else. What do you got? Anything else?
I'm done, man.
I'm done as well, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button if it's your first time here. Like I just said, we're at 8,000. See if you can get me to 10,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can get to 300 likes on this video. If you're watching it, give us 300 likes. Let's try to get us to 10,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I got some good things to give away too. But if we get that 10,000 subscriber mark before the Super Bowl, I'll do a nice giveaway. Give us a follow on Twitter and Snapchat, nothing but 9ERS. That's the number 9 right there. Nothing but 9ERS. Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, we are over 15,000 members of our group page. Come over to YouTube. You don't need to just watch us on Facebook. Come over so we can see who you are on this end. And give us a follow on Instagram. Big shout out to NY to the Bay holding that Instagram account down over there.
NY.
I can never. Yeah, NY. I can never, I always forget how to post to a story because I don't use Instagram that much. And then get music and all that stuff. And I always think that I know how to do it. And then I hit it and it's like, no, this isn't what it is.
Yeah, it's not so. I mean, it's easy. I'll show you how to do it.
But yeah, make sure you guys give us a follow there on Facebook. Like I said, big shout out to NY to the Bay, Mike, for holding down those both those groups and Instagram pages. Check us out on the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. And if you guys want to write for us or become a part of NBN, send over some emails, man. We're going to be bringing some more people on this following year. Would love to have you guys if you're interested, and I'll let you know what the details are on that as well. And you can send that email to us at nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. This year has been all gas, no break, guys. Brought to you courtesy of the NBN crew. Hashtag NB9ERS. If you want to listen to us on podcasts, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all your podcast apps, we're there. Get in there like Flynn. And, guys, that's all I got to say, man. We are 13-3, 1-0, headed to the NFC Championship. 2 more games, guys. 2 more games. Thanks for all the love, the support. Much love to all of y'all. And above all else, stay faithful.
Stay faithful.
We out of here. Peace.